I always do this. I'm like, oh, intro's got to be 10 minutes. It's got to be 10 minutes. And I'm just standing here, just watching, just staring at chat, staring at you, Toxic. Only you. Hi, everyone. It is a Monday stream. I, as usual, look like shit because I feel like it. It's been a long day. It's been a pretty long day. I feel like the microphone's really quiet for some reason. I don't really want to mess with it. Sorry if I am messing with it. Let's see if that's better. I don't know. Maybe that's better. I have it like maxed out. I think I have it maxed out. Yeah, it's maxed out on this. I don't know if this. Oh, that's a red line. Red line. Maybe that's a bad idea. Let's not do that. Let's not mess with that, shall we? Hello, Pyro. Quick. Hello, you beautiful son of a gun. Late stream. Yeah, back at work. Back at work now. So no daytime streams right now. I take. It's so funny. Hi, Pyro. So how can I gotta talk about it very carefully because obviously there's NDAs and everything involved. So we're helping out on this indie film right now, and they sent us a bunch of the footage today, and they want to submit it for a festival, and the deadline to submit it for the festival is Wednesday. So we have to go really, really quick. You could okay. There's definitely no video evidence of this on YouTube or anything. But also go follow Quick. We rated Quick yesterday. Go follow them. They're awesome. They're really good at I was gonna say smurfing. That's how old I am. Surfing. Maybe no, because you could do Smurf accounts in Counter Strike. Okay, I'm half right. I got a half a point. Yeah, really good at surfing in Counter Strike and really, really good at GeoGuessr as well. Smurfing, GeoGuessr, yeah, exactly. Just combining them all together. No, so this indie film, it is the first ever feature film that they've ever done. Whatever, don't know what they shot on. It's that, which is a whole thing in and of itself. And they sent us the footage. They're like, "Yep, we're going to send the files." They sent us the files, and we get them. And I was like, this doesn't seem right. Something seems wrong. And so I was like, can we email them and just like check? Because I was like, I need some information. I was like, I need a VFX tech, like a spec sheet. Which a VFX spec sheet is just it's like a PDF that's all the information about the footage that was shot, how they're going to deliver it to us, what the naming should be, how we should deliver it back, etc. Like very standard-ish stuff. Sometimes it can be a little back and forthy because they get really weird about like uppercase and lowercase depending on like if you're doing versions, you do like a version 0001. Sometimes they're like, no, it has to be uppercase, and sometimes they're like, whatever. Boilerplate stuff of just like, we shot it on this camera in this resolution, open gate, but we only want it back as a 4K file that's 16 by 9, let's just say. Right? It's stuff like that, and it tells you exactly how things should be cropped. Should it be cropped differently for the quick times and the raw? A lot of like technical stuff. And so we were like, "Hey, do you guys have like a thing because you've sent these files and they don't seem correct. Something's off about them." And I was like, they replied. They were like, I was like, "Can you tell us what resolution that you want it done at? Can you tell us the color space? Can you tell her all these things?" And they replied with like, yeah, just like source resolution and source color space is fine. And we were like, sorry, no, we need you to tell us what those are. Like, you've sent these files and they don't seem right. Like, and I was like, is there any color baked in? Is there any LUTs baked in? And they were like, no, there's no color baked in. It's just the source file of Rec 709. And I'm like, that's the color baked in. That's literally the color baked in, because on a camera you shoot it in a flat profile, either like red log red log film? Christ, I haven't used it's like red wide gamut 10 or something like if you're using a red camera like I haven't used my camera in a long time, so I can't remember. You have that, you have Alexa log, you have like that. Sometimes they'll give you the files in linear color space, which just means that instead of a flat profile, it's converted into a linearized version, which still has all of the dynamic range. It's just more color grading friendly. None of that stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what they did was they sent us. So when it comes to editing, you have an offline version and an online version. The offline is when you have generated proxies or small versions of the footage to work with, so it's really quick to edit. So instead of using like 4K, super high resolution, heavy raw files, you're using like H.264 QuickTimes. Something different, but like that kind of idea. Using them with like 1080p, and they're super easy to edit, and like you can get it through. You bake the color in so that it all looks correct. So when you're editing, you're just focusing on the edit, and you're not worried about anything else, right? Very, very basic stuff. What they did was they provided us EXRs of those proxies and the files of those proxies. So I'm working on like temp files essentially, and it's just really funny because it's like we've been doing a lot more indie projects, and this keeps creeping up and keep happening. And I'm just like, I'm both like, I love working on these indie projects because it's super basic stuff some of the times, but it's really quick turnaround. So it means I get to work on new things constantly versus working on like a film. Like when I worked on Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I was working on the same shots for like 8 months. Like I just kept going back to it and back to it and back. And we're not talking about anything crazy. We're talking about like a guy pressing a button, you know, but the button is made of goo, and it's like they keep changing their mind on how they want the goo to look. And so it's like just over and over and over again. Whereas this is like, okay, it's in, it's out, it's done, good enough, go on to next, on to the next. And it's more interesting. But you run into these things where they have no idea. Like the stuff, like we're asking for a spec doc and they replied to us with just the description of the shot, but that they wanted for VFX. And we were like, no. And so it's this weird balance that you have to find of like educating them without being condescending, but also like getting what you need, because you need them on your side, right? If it's gonna cost them more money, this is the thing. I was like, I think I was talking to Shay about this today. It's just like this thing of like post-production all gets lumped into one pot. And when something goes wrong or whatever, like sometimes you'll hear people talk about VFX is bad, VFX is good. Maybe they'll talk about like color grading. Very rarely is color grading talked about in a negative light. Usually when color grading is bad, it's blamed on like the cinematography or it's blamed on VFX. It's this weird thing. And so what happens with these post houses, which are very different than VFX houses, is they charge a shitload of money. And I mean like a shitload of money. Like a VFX daily rate. So what would happen is if you were bidding on a shot for something, you bid it in the number of days you think it would take. And within those days, you give a day rate, right? So let's just say for sake of ease, it's $1,000 a day. Every shot takes $1,000 a day for each task. And so if a shot is going to take you 20 days, it's a $20,000 shot, which could be really expensive depending on what it is. Some studios charge way more, some charge way less, because it just depends, right? And your goal as a studio is to make profit within that by doing it faster and bidding the shots appropriately. So if it's going to take a day to do all the rotoscoping, a day to do all the painting, that's 2 days, right? Or you might do a half day of one, half day of another. Or you might be like, well, we'll bid less on the roto, even though the roto and paint will take a day each. The compositing might only take a day. We're not going to charge as much for the roto, but we are going to charge more for the comp. Or we're going to charge more for the roto, but charge less for the final shot. So like you find ways to balance stuff like that. Or maybe you spread the cost out over other shots where it's like, you know, you might have something that's a CG asset, but you have to do all the building of an asset straight off the rip. And that shot will be really, really expensive, but then you can reuse that asset multiple times across the rest of the film in like different sequences, right? So you can kind of spread that cost out over different things. So there's a lot of complicated stuff with it. But let's say like a day rate for a VFX studio for like one of those. Like one day is $1,000 a day. You have to pay all your artists in that. You have to pay production. You have to pay that, right? $1,000 a day. A post house will charge you $1,500 to $2,000 an hour. And they will charge you for everything. Doesn't matter. If it takes 5 seconds, they charge for the hour. I'm not even kidding. I worked on a movie last year, and the post house lost the footage. And I mean, lost it. Okay? There was like maybe an archive version that's on a hard drive somewhere, but like the footage that they had to access to give to us to work on, they lost it. They charged the client to go look for the files that they lost, not to send them, to look on their system to find the files. They charge them for that. If you give them a USB stick or a hard drive to import the footage, they will charge you for that. They will charge you to put it back onto that drive. They will charge you for anything. They will charge you for logging in to a machine just because they have to do. Like, they will charge you for everything. And what they do sometimes on another film that I was on is they try and take shots away from VFX and say that they can do it because they can charge $1,500 or whatever. And they make it seem like it will be a lot easier and a lot faster turnaround to the filmmakers who are all about time, but then they don't think about the cost and the money. So like a studio sending us files, and if they send us the wrong files, they will make more money sending us files than we will make as an entire studio a day. Make money off your own mistakes is a great business, right? And the thing is, Pyro, one of the biggest, most well-known places. Like every time we have to deal with them, I don't know if I'm tell me if I'm clipping. Right now it's redlining. Tell me if I'm clipping or if it just sounds loud. I'm okay if it just sounds loud. But it's like, and because they're charging you for the task, and it's insane. It's insane. So I had to send an email and be like, hey, they sent us the daily quick time of the full shot, and the shot is like loud. Okay, I'm okay with it being louder. I actually want it to be louder. It's clipping in OBS, but yeah. It's just so I can actually put the microphone further away. So yeah, on the cusp of clipping. Okay. If it's louder, if it's there, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put the microphone further away. That's what I'm trying to do. So if that's okay, yeah, maybe I'll drop it just a tiny bit. Thank you for the feedback. They sent us the range of the whole shot. The shot is 738 frames, okay? Which is fine because I'm only using like 50. But I was asking them for like a frame range, a work range, things like that. And they were like, just send us the whole file. And I was like, no, you need to send us like the original file. You need to speak to the post-production house and they need to send us the original files, original resolution, everything. I was like, so you need to figure out a working range so that you aren't paying to pull 738 frames because that will cost them, just again, to put it into context of that fee. What we are charging for the shots, we're doing two shots. Let's say maybe 3. Let's say 2 shots, okay? We're doing 2 shots for them. For them to just pull the footage, not for us to send it back. For them to pull the footage of 738 frames, which is two separate shots, would cost 2.5 times more than it would for them to pay us to do all of the shots together. Just for them to pull, and sorry to clarify, 1 shot. That's 1 shot that's 738 frames. 1 shot. They would be charged more than they are paying combined for us to do all of the work. People wonder why budgets get blown. Yeah. I mean, the thing that pisses me off is that the money isn't even, it's that it's not even going to the actual task, or it's not going to the people that doing it. It's like, it's just being pissed away into these post houses. But they're so established. They're so bloated. It's that problem of bloat, right? It's that you look at it and you're like, that's an insane amount of money. But it's like they have 1,000 people, and a lot of them aren't profit generating people that work there. Lawyer like billing, kind of, yeah, because they control everything, because there's rules in place that you can't just like have. I mean, if you're an indie film, you can just do it yourself and have it at home. But if you want to do it as a full-on post-production workflow and everything, and you have it processed and whatnot, you go through one of these houses. It's like the rite of passage through Hollywood. If you want to do that, if you want to do the big films, if you want to work with the big studios, you have to do it. It's the cost of it, right? Because they'll handle. It's not just about handling the files and having them stored and safe and things like that, and the cost of doing that. It's delivering it in all of these different ways too, right? They've got to color grade it. They've got to color grade it for movie theaters, for TV, for monitors, streaming, like streaming platforms, everything. They have to output it multiple times to multiple languages. They do, like all of that stuff, right? So if you want all that stuff taken care of for you, that's the cost of it. But it's like, yeah, people would be like, oh, why does post-production cost so much? It ain't fucking us. It ain't us. Editing can cost a decent amount of money, but the post houses charge a fuckload. And if you have to do another pull, let's say like you do it where you do the cut range of a shot. Let's say the shot is 100 frames long, and usually what you do is a cut range with handles. That's so that if you need to slip it a couple of frames in the edit, you can, right? If you have to pull that footage again, they charge you for the whole shot. Sometimes, because it's really they don't just like take the extra frames. They charge you for pulling the shot as if it's a brand new shot. So if you need an extra 8 frames, they don't just send you the extra 8 frames. They send you the whole shot with extra frames because they can charge you for it. It's stuff like that. It's fucking crazy. So the client kind of like freaked out a little bit, and they were like, well, is the price of the shots changing? We're like, from us, no, but we need the original files. Like, we can't work on top of it. Would be like me shooting an entire movie up, like not color grading it, uploading it to YouTube, then downloading a 720p version from YouTube, and then color grading on top of that. That's like how it basically is right now. And we're like, we need to work on the original files so that when you go back to offline, so you have the offline and the online, when you go back to online editing, which is you connect back to the original high resolution files, our VFX shots need to match those files, right? So that's the process of like onlining, offlining, and things like that. But it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's truly highway robbery. And then you hear about companies like Technicolor and everything going under, and you're like, how are you going under? Like, what are you possibly doing to go under when you're charging $2,000 an hour? US exec sale. That's what I mean. It's just like, it's like I don't know. It's fucking crazy. Like, I'm not in a position to do it, but I generally think like there's such a market for like a mid-level. I mean, it would be a fucking ball ache, but you'd have to have some really talented people. But you're going to see more of these little color grading post houses pop up in the next few years, because it's just like it not just with like the low budget movie, like we've lost the mid budget movie where you go from either 9 million is the top end to like 100 million or 80 million. That middle $30 million movie is gone. That's happening with post production too. The access to those things is gone too, or is leaving. Or it's such a big expense that there's such a market for that I can see a lot of those little studios popping up. Like there's other ones like Picture House, which apparently are really good to work with. But again, they charge a fuckload of money. And like to be honest, they have to invest a lot of money too, because it's like you are potentially taking on a Electric State. You're taking on a $320 million movie. You're not putting that on Crucial P1 NVMEs, you know? You're not putting that on fucking the Western Digital Blue hard drives, right? You're putting that on like the highest end hardware with redundancy for redundancy. You watch the YouTube video. You know what, Taco? You know what? I trust you. You're good. I'll hand you over a thumb drive. It's on a little Bobby thing, so it's like you pull off her legs and then plug it in. Hi, SG. How's it going? Good. How are you? that's all you need. It's just you just need a YouTube video and a dream. But I'm like, there's got to be something. Like the rise of like the small VFX studios has happened, and now there's a lot of them. And there's also a weird thing about not that there's too many, but there's a lot of like people fighting for scraps, right? And I would love to do that. I would love to have my own little VFX thing. I think that would be sick. Where you work on a couple. If you work on a couple of movie sets and you get in with the right people, and you're just like, hey, you want some, you need a VFX supervisor. You go on set. You oversee what's on set. You then take care of the post production. You oversee that. You do some shots here and there, and you can kind of do stuff. You can make a decent wage. Like I think you can make a decent profit margin on visual effects. I mean, it's hot. The thing is, you hear about it, and it's like studios, Marvel movies cost $200 million movies, and then the VFX studios go under. It's like, yeah, because they had to hire, the profit margin's like 12%, and they had to hire like 800 people, and they have these massive studios, and they have these massive render farms, and I'm like, if you find a good level, if you get like 6 projects a year, like prime example, like a few years ago, I worked on some CW shows, and some of the budget sheets were like I saw them, and it's like an episode of a CW show could be like $100,000 for the VFX for like 40 shots, something like that per episode. And it's like you get a show like that doesn't really exist anymore, those kind of shows. But you get a show like that, you have a compositor, you outsource the roto and the paint, you have a VFX guy or a woman or whatever they identify as. You have a generalist person in every sense of the word who can do 3D stuff, who can do effect sims, things like that. We still not arms raised to crank out streaming content. Is that still paying the? Yeah, but it's getting really messy. Where they're like, it's unsustainable. It's in a weird spot where it's like, a prime example again, Electric State. They spent $320 million on that movie and they didn't even promote it. But it's like you have a team of like 2 compositors, you have 2 generalists who can do stuff. You have a producer, maybe a coordinator. So you have a team of 5 people, let's say, maybe 6 people. You pay them a decent wage. You pay them whatever. If you get 2 to 3 of those projects, you could make like a 40% profit margin. Like you really could. How is tooling and VFX being improved by AI, machine learning kind of stuff? Is it becoming more efficient to do a shot full movie? It's improved in many ways, but it's hard to implement, and it depends to the limitations of which it's used. So there's idealized things we have like, fuck, I did it again. I'm still in Timberborn. Sorry, I will go back to Timberborn. We are going to play Timberborn. I try to talk for 20 minutes, and then I end up going for 30, and I'm like, I should go to Just Chatting. You have stuff like Wonder Studio. You have stuff like Copycat Node and Nuke. You have like all of these roto paint tools and things like that. And they seem like they'd work great, but they only work in the same way as like anytime something new comes out, it's cherry-picked and shown in the best way possible rather than in a catch-all kind of way that you use it day to day. Finding this opportunity for a new small studio to steal from the big guys. It exists. Those small studios do exist, and they can do that stuff. And they do really, really well. They're maybe scraping by more than they ideally want to be, but there's certainly opportunity to do that. There is so much content being made all the time, and if you're willing to go after it, then you can carve out a nice little niche. If you get in with a TV studio, and you just take on like 30 shots per episode for a show, and they have like 2 shows going a year, you can make a decent living. You can make a really decent living. And it's stuff that the biggest studios won't touch. At this point, the studios cannot afford to take on projects that would lose them money. Whereas before, they would take on projects, do that just to keep talent on the books so that when the next big project came in, they would have people ready to go. Now they can't afford to do it because the prices are being driven down, wages are being driven down. It's becoming a weird situation. I haven't worked at a big studio in like 2 years, so I'm a little out of the loop, but like based on, like, I almost went to one, and based on my friends who work at those places, they're working like, I don't know, like 14-hour days right now just to like keep a job. If you don't do it, they'll find someone who will. Do you feel like movies, web series, commercials are overdoing VFX these days? Seems excessive to some viewers. I don't think that they're necessarily overdoing it. I think that it's being used wrong. I think it's become a lazy tool that people don't like. I think that creativity has gone down because of the we can do anything mentality. And so there are things where you think that they don't have VFX in that do. They're like every car commercial, like I would say almost every car commercial is fully CGI. You see a car driving around a city, they probably didn't film that. I'll just be honest. Or if they did, it was so heavily changed that it might as well have been CGI. Like I worked on something a few years ago, and like they did film something, and it was like I think it was like a petroleum ad, and it was like they filmed a car doing like donuts on like a platform as if it was like doing it on the top of a building and stuff, and like stuff like that. It looked really, really good, but it just depends what the medium is. I do think that I think the biggest problem, SG, is that people want to make these things with VFX, but put no thought into the VFX and put no money aside to do it. So they're making a project that is, let's say 50% VFX, but they've put almost no money to the side to do the VFX. And I've had this time and time again at every level, especially like indie level, where it's like I've had it where people have raised money on crowdfunding campaigns, and they didn't even include a budget for the VFX until like a stretch goal. And the stretch goal was like $500. And I'm like, I'm not doing this for $500. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, I'll help out my friends, but I'm like, I'm not doing this for $500. And then they come to you and they're like, hey, so we've got like 20 shots. And one of them is 1,000 frames of someone running, and we need the logo removed. Oh, okay. And we're going to go shoot this, and I'm going to be there, and we can put track. Oh, no, we already shot it. Oh, what did you shoot on? Well, we shot on my iPhone. Oh, okay. What frame rate? We don't know. What file form? I don't know. And you're just like, what the hell? Like, don't make a VFX film if you have no idea what's going to be VFX and if you have no budget for it, right? And I think that's a big problem. The other thing is they get lazy. They get really, really lazy with it. And so you end up with things that don't look like they have thought put behind them because it's shot so flat because they don't know what they want to put in there. And it's shot in a very safe way, and therefore it feels very sterile and lacking soul. And you put VFX in, and it just doesn't work. Like the expression polishing a turd. Just because it can be VFX, and you can make good-looking VFX, if it's put into a poorly crafted shot with no real thought put into it, it's never going to look good. It's never going to look good. Well, sci-fi and fantasy shows being popular these days. You get a nice gig with a long-running show. Yeah. What you really need is you need a Once Upon a Time. That's what you need. Oh my God. I went and interviewed at Zoic when there was like peak that show. They did like The Flash. They did Once Upon a Time. They did all of those shows. And they were like, yeah, we could literally work on movies for free. We make enough money from these shows. But the turnaround is like you get 2 weeks to do like 100 shots. It's fucking crazy. So like you've got to find a balance in that. Decisions getting pushed back because fixed and posted and making decisions that happens a lot. Car commercials are Unreal Engines domain now. Yeah, there's a lot of movement towards virtual production as well. That's happening a lot more and more. So next year will tell us those 23 JD how each car won mean nothing. Wait, what? No, they're more important than the Oscars. What do you mean? So I watched a YouTube video about this like 2 days ago. Ignore Discord DM. I refuse. I'm gonna look at it right now. Oh God, it's his penis. Oh, I watched that exact video. Pyro. I did. And yeah, that's what you know what? When I talked about this the other day, that was why I was talking about it. Because I saw this video about like why movies, it's like the whole, it doesn't look like a movie, it looks like content. And it's the idea of just like, film it as flat as you can, make it as wide appealing as you can, all of these things. And it just like, I think that you need to make bigger swings. I think that if you want something to do really well, if I would like, I would take 1,000 3 out of 10 projects if we end up getting a 9 out of 10, right? But if everything's a 6 out of 10, everything feels the same, everything looks the same, it's just boring. This is like what I was talking about yesterday with the whole writing thing. Everything from like 2013 to kind of now, in a way, feels like it's written by the same people. It has the same cadence, it has the same people have the same quirks and this and that, and it's just like, man, I don't know. It's like we need to break out of this. But the problem is no one will fund those projects. They want to fund something that they know is going to make money. That's why Disney, Pixar is like, we're not making, after this, we're not making any more films. We're only making existing IPs and sequels. And because they're like, oh, we can't take a risk on this, even though that's the entire thing of Pixar was the unique, interesting ideas. Like, we can't take a risk anymore. And it's like, I don't want to watch your stuff then. I don't want to watch your stuff. I don't. Like it's that thing of like you raise your price, less people around, so to make up the money, it's like you raise the price again and then it's just this constant thing if you end up at the same point, but it's completely dwindled. I think I met someone working at Alter Ego VFX Studio a while ago. We heard about them. Are they good? Name seems very vaguely familiar, maybe, but no, I don't. I have no idea about them. I have no idea about them. And yet, with all the pre-pro that Russo brothers apparently do, they still churn out that shit. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a problem too, and I will include myself in this. I focus way. I'm going to use myself as the example rather than anyone else. I focus way too much on the technical stuff and not the creative stuff when it comes to this. How do I shoot it? How do I light it? What camera am I using? How can I make this look cool? Can I add VFX here? And the thing is, when you focus on all that, you forget the fundamental thing of what's the story. Because something that is cinematic, this is the thing, is like you can make a cool shot. You can make the camera matrix bullet time around someone. Yeah, that's a cool shot, but out of context, doesn't really serve any purpose, right? It's not telling the story. But true cinematography is about what kind of camera work, what kind of VFX, what kind of choices you make that tell the story better, right? It's not that cool shot in the Matrix. Like, people remember that shot because it's a cool shot, but it's a cool shot because of the context of how it's being used, right? It's what it's showing. It's not just because prime example, after Matrix, every single company was trying to make the next Matrix, and they tried to do Aeon Flux. What was the Ultraviolet? Oh my god, go watch the trailer of Ultraviolet. It's like, yeah, everyone did the bullet time shot, but you know what? I don't really remember it. Take some damn risk. Yeah, it's like you need to take some risk. And that's the thing, is that's the whole point of these big tentpole movies, is they're supposed to like make the money back for all of the risks that they take, but no one's making any risks anymore. They just want every movie to make $1 billion, and it doesn't work. It's never gonna work. Ultraviolet, forgot about that movie. Yeah, I didn't. But like, you look at a movie, it looks awful, by the way. Still, it looks worse now, by far. But it's like, if you don't have the underlying story to go with it, if you don't have a reason why, the whole reason with the camera work, especially when they do the Trinity and they do the bullet time, because like everyone remembers the Matrix Neo kind of whoa, but that's not the first time they used that shot in that movie. They do it at the very beginning with Trinity to show the strangeness of the world that they're in, that something's not right, something's not real, and it's just like, it's established, right? So now this kind of shot can happen only in this world. And then it cuts to like him in an office, and it's very gray and dystopian and very like shot very flat. And like, you can infer so much from the filmmaking with that, right? Versus you get to like the Matrix reboot, whatever the fuck, I don't remember what it's called. Resolutions? Whatever the latest one was. And it's like, man, there's just no soul in this. And they're just trying to do cool shots, and they're trying to be like, hey, remember this from the Matrix? And it's like, and it's the same filmmakers. Resurrection, Christ, I wish they didn't. Like the whole thing of like the frame rate thing, and I was like, this looks bad. The whole thing where it's like it's choppy, I was like, this doesn't look cool. Like it's running on a computer and it's struggling or what. Like I was like, this just looks bad. Same with special effects too. After the Matrix, there's so many low ends. That's a sound that happens during build. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the sound effects. Sorry, not the special effects. Yeah. The sound effects, like the like taking out the high end, and it's like the low rumble and like the like slow mo guys kind of do that, right? And they just like the and you're like, man, it's the like the Wilhelm scream and everything. Hi, Scott. I owed a lot of squats. That just reminds you of the movie FX. Face Off? Great movie. Greatest movie ever. Starts with child murder. What's not to love? But yeah, like going back to a little bit what SG was saying. Take some damn risks of everyone. Sick of boring. For some reason, half the chat cut off. Sorry, Takuma. I didn't see the rest of your message. Take some damn risks. Everyone's sick of boring films by committee. And I think that's the thing is like, as we're getting more into like algorithms driving stuff, like there's a really good interview. I think it's a Howard Stern interview with the director of Ghosted, the High Paragon, the Chris Evans, Anna de Armas movie that was on Apple TV. And it was like, he was talking about how like, yeah, you know, they kept saying in the edit room, it's like, oh, well, now you got to cut to this because the data says after 15 seconds, audience is switching off. You got to do this, you got to do that. And you're just like, man, it's so bad. And like I said to Pyro, it's like, there was an interview with one of I think it was the showrunner of the Netflix project Maniac. And they were talking about that. It's like Netflix gives notes based on all the data and they have all the data. And it's like, I feel like that was the slow opening of the can and kind of seeing what's inside, opening the jar and seeing what's inside and seeing what's going on. And it's just so interesting to like see it come to where we're at now, right? And it's like maybe they're not even going to do audience screenings. I don't think audience screenings are necessarily a good thing. Sometimes they can be, but I think that you can't just take what an audience says at face value because it depends on so many things, right? But now it's like run it through AI. How does this compare? What is the metrics? What is the metrics versus our last project? Ooh, is it too long? Is it too this? I think there's a twofold thing where it's like we went a weird direction where it's like we both aren't getting many creative things, and we've got a few. I like Anora, Everything Everywhere All at Once. You get like true direct division, but I think the other aspect is because of streaming, we've actually gone a different way. Hi, Aqua on YouTube. I don't know if the chat's appearing on screen. I don't think it is. Sorry, I realized that. There we go. My bad. Now you can see what Aqua's saying. It was broken, so I turned it off. Oh, you can take what an audience says face out. Yeah. Exactly. Man, I never thought of them getting granular on editing to drive. Oh, 1,000% Taco. Starts with child murder. What's not to love? That's what's not to love, Paragon. That's the greatest way. Just him standing there screaming, Michael! Greatest John Travolta performance of his life. Nope. Why even do polling, analytics, run move through AI, sentiment analysis, and get greenlit? No, chat on screen, Aqua doesn't exist. Nope. You appeared. He appeared for a second. But yeah, they really do that, you know? Based on like audience data, based on data retention. Look, I mean, prime example is Mr. Beast, right? The retention editing, where it's like edit has to keep going and going and going. Said doo-doo. I'll always say that. It's just, it's got to keep going. It's got to keep the attention, because if it's too static, then the people are clicking away. They're not paying attention. The way that they manipulate the ad reads, right? It does an ad read and that bar appears on the bottom of the screen, and it's like they use things like sunken cost fallacy to like, well, you're already halfway through the thing, and then they slow it down. It's like, that's not a 30-second bar, but it moved really, really quickly, so you think it's going quickly. And like, well, it's so close, I might as well just sit through the rest of it. And like using very psychological tactics to do that, right? And like with everything, the other problem that I think we're running into a little bit though on the other side is you have a lot of these creators' visions. But what's happening with streaming is limitations have gone away. I'm sorry, burping. Sorry, gross. It drives me nuts that now we're getting so many 2.5 hour movies that do not need to be 2.5 hours. Like, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a very good movie. Why is it 2 hours and 25 minutes long? Like, why? It starts to drag. I start to lose interest. What earns goodwill from it just becomes a slog to get through. And it's like, I'm not expecting 2 hour, like, I'm not expecting like retention editing. I don't want that. But I just think that a lot of these stories don't justify their runtime, you know? They really don't. They really don't. And it's like, sometimes I feel like, man, it's just like, I don't like this. There's ones where, even like Wicked, I'll include like a movie like Wicked, right? I was like, why is this so long? And then I watched it, I was like, yeah, like, I enjoyed it. I think there's definitely pacing issues in some parts. I was like, I enjoyed it, and that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. I think it's a decent enough film. But there are films where I'm like, man, I think especially with action, when it's like an action film or has a lot of action, it just starts to drag. Ship doesn't make it. Oh no. VFX studios are employers. You're either working on Switch Up or become an employee. Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. I don't think it's true. I know it's true. I've sat in meetings at studios where people in the town halls that we had with the head of the studio said, what are you doing to address the burnout because we're working 60, 70 plus hours a week? And the head of the studio's response was, well, you knew what you signed up for. I've been in those meetings. I've been privy to that. I raised when I worked on Deadpool. No, it wasn't Deadpool. I worked on Black Panther. And we were coming to the end of it, and it kept getting changed and getting changed. I went to the artist manager, and I was like, hey, like, our supervisor's not doing the right job. He eventually got fired, and they had to give it to someone else, and she was great. But when it was him, it was like, this needs addressing, this needs fixing. Like, he's not telling us what we need to do. He's not proving anything. We're here till like 3 a.m. every single night, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. This has to like change. And the solution was, well, would you like us to end your contract early? And I was like, sorry, instead of fixing the problem that everyone is dealing with, you would rather remove the person who has raised an issue for the problem. Like, yeah. It's just wild. And if you speak up, some people are very much under the boot as well, where you're just like, it's not a good deal. It's not a good rap. It's like, I was at one place and they were offered a food. They'd offer you like a food thing, like an Uber Eats thing, and it would be like $25. But the thing is, you couldn't buy anything off Uber Eats for $25 because if you bought a $15 sandwich with all the fees and the delivery costs and everything on top, it was $30. And I was like, hey, this doesn't actually cover anything. So I don't want to be spending $5 a day buying this if I'm because the whole reason they give you the money is so that you're not taking an hour to go cook and sit down and eat, so you can keep working at your desk. And someone was like, you typical you, like being pissed off at getting something for free. And I was like, well, it's not for free. It's not for free. The whole point they're giving it to me is to keep me at my desk working so that I don't take time to take a break to go eat. And then on top of that, it's costing me money. Like, I think that's a reasonable request. If it's something it's like, if you're not going to give that to me, fine, but I'm going to take a break and go grocery shopping and make food. That's the balance. That's the trade-off, right? And it was like, people would like be like, oh, he's so ungrateful. I'm like, it's not that I'm ungrateful. It's just I value my time and I value this. And it's like one of these people, this person was like one of those people where it's like they were bending over backwards for the studio, and they were like, whenever like new shots came in, they were given to this person. They were dumped on. And I'm like, you're gonna crash out. So and they did. They ended up fucking snapping at me because I left before the end of the project, and they spent an hour screaming at me. And I was like, you know what? I don't think a lot of stuff what you're saying is necessarily incorrect, but like, this is not how you need to be dealing with this situation. Like, they were annoyed at me because they said I wasn't pulling my weight. And I was like, at the time I was going through a breakup and potentially being evicted and all these things. Still here, and I was like, yeah, I don't disagree. I wasn't probably pulling my weight, but I was like, but the difference is they're dumping everything on you. They're dumping everything on you, and you need to push back. And I was like, so there's like somewhere in the middle of this. And I was like, yeah, it's just such a weird kind of take. Longest eviction ever. Oh man, I'm super excited for when I actually give notice. Uh, you can never catch me watching Titanic for 3 hours, 40 minutes, but watching Space Jam for 8 hours straight while sick at home in school. Facts, yeah. Well, that's the other thing, right? It's like I don't like a 3 hour movie is a slog, but I'll watch TikToks for 3 hours, or I'll watch 12, 15-minute YouTube videos. What I've learned is if you want the company to improve, you're the first to go. Usually they just like if they've just got to do something, it's like what I learned very quickly is that the artist managers are not there to look after the artist. They're there to protect the company from potential problems, lawsuits, things like that. And so people raising issues like that means that you are not, maybe they can class it as like insubordination, or they'll be like it's not that they'll improve the situation, it's just like the only way, there's also the aspect of like the only way we can make this stop for you is to remove you from that situation, right? HR middleman, it's kind of, yeah, it's like, so HR isn't being bombarded and an at-will state. Yeah, BC's an at-will province as well. Most of Canada is. And so there's also that, right? Is they can fire you at any time for any reason, and they will exercise that and use that. When I after that project, we went on to Deadpool 2, we actually finished the project a month early. And so they just like let us all go. And we're like, oh, okay. It's like, we're not going to get paid out? Nope. Nope, not getting paid out to the end of the contract. It's at will. See ya. So I just like turned down jobs because I was working on that movie and ended up with like losing a month's pay. It's just like, all right, that's how it is. But you can't retaliate. You can't stand up for yourself on that front because you'll just get blacklisted. If you raise any issue, like I'm pretty sure I'm blacklisted for one studio, not for something I did, but because I told one of my friends who was a coordinator about what was going on. They reported it to the head of studio. I was pulled in and asked to tell them about it. And because I was associated with that situation, they have never replied to me ever, applying for jobs there ever. And I'm just like, all right, because they don't want the hassle. It's not worth it. Like I'm a troublemaker. I'm this, I'm that because I raised an issue. They don't want that. It's the mentality of like union busting, right? It's a similar thing of like they don't want people who rock the boat. Doesn't matter if you're good, bad, whatever. They don't want people causing a stir on that stuff. They want people just to sit there and do their work. And like when you need to do 15, 16-hour days, you do the 15 to 16-hour day. That's it. And you don't complain. You don't do that. You're paid well enough to do it, so you shouldn't have anything to complain about. That's the mentality. Anyone paid by the company to look out for their employees? Absolutely. Like, yeah, no, that doesn't exist. That doesn't. You also got to be careful of who you tell in friends, because it's like that made me very wary of that, right? Because it's like I then didn't want to talk to people who were in like production about stuff, because if they report it up the chain, then I could get in trouble for that too. Like, not in trouble, but like I'm then flagged as like, oh, this person's causing problem. If they start talking to other people, then they might get the same idea and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you become a problem. That's what it is. How much think the industry versus American is the industry versus American culture? Like, it's just different there. I mean, this is Canada, but I think it is just like, and there's a lot of people who aren't necessarily from the US. I mean, the side of the industry hiring the VFX people is in a whole other world in and of itself that's toxic as hell as well. But yeah, it's all about maximizing profit and just getting through it. And a lot of times I'm like, honestly, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. For most of these studios, it's not worth it. You have to be in a very specific position in these studios where you're making enough money but don't have an insane amount of stress that it's worth it. And a lot of people aren't at that place. A lot of people aren't at that place. Get paid $16.25 now, and all my friends and new hires go. Yeah, stuff like that's fucked up. Stuff like that's fucked up where it's like, you should be always at the same rate for that. My work reflects my pay. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And it's like, I agree. I agree on that wholeheartedly. It's like, if you're paying me X amount of money, that's how much you're going to get out of me. That's it. Is it just as bad regardless of studio? Different studios are different. I mean, I know that makes a lot of sense, but no sense. It really depends on the studio. It really depends on what you want from it. There's some places that you would go to work in VFX and put up with those conditions because you want to work at that studio because they're one of the best studios in the world. They have the best talent. You can really push yourself. You can really elevate yourself as an artist, as whatever. You want to get certain things on your resume, on your show reel. It's worth it, right? Ultimately, you have to decide at a certain point when you have a choice, you have to decide what's worth it to you and what isn't. And there's just, I've hit a point where it's like, it's not worth it to me. The amount of birthdays, the amount of summers, the amount of holidays that I've missed because I had to work, the medical aspect of it, of like sitting at a desk all day and, you know, my eyes are fucked and my back and, you know, all of those things. It's like, long term, it's just like not worth it. So you've really got to like choose. And some people don't have that choice. Some people are unfortunately don't have that. They just, this is what they have. This is what they know. Like what I've tried, I've applied in other industries before, and I'm like, I'm going to try this. I can't get hired because I don't have any other experience. After 15 years, I don't have any other experience. Technically, I have managerial experience, but like it's too niche. So like how, like it's not like I just know Photoshop and I can go work at a graphic design studio. How does me being a compositor, where I take live action footage and combine plates together, or I remove wires, or I put CGI into something, how does that translate to any other job, really? I can manage people under stress. I've dealt with large budget projects and things like that. I'm good with, you know, getting stuff done and hitting a deadline. But like, a lot of people are kind of stuck in this. Also, a lot of people are immigrants, right? So they're tied to a work permit. So they have to just put up with it. Because if they don't, the work permit expires and they're gone. So there's a lot of weird stuff. There's a lot of really weird stuff with it. And I don't think it's always American culture. I think there's a lot of actually British work culture, like London culture, where a lot of people come from, and up until recently, in most places still are the same. They don't get paid overtime. And so there's just this thing of like, well, you just work until it's done. You just work and work and work and work and work, and that's it. And that's why there's such a big drinking culture over there, because it's like, how else do you fucking deal with it? The amount of times I've been working at a studio and I've just seen people sitting there with a fucking growler of like, you know, beer kept in a mini fridge under the desk, or a bottle of whiskey. Like studios had to like put in things to say you're not allowed to have that at your desk because it was getting so bad. Or like the amount of drug problems that people have, and it's insane. It's really, really insane. And it's sad, and it's like it ruins lives, relationships, marriages. It ruins a lot of stuff, you know? It's just like, end of the day, it's like you really gotta love it if you want to do it. It's not a job that you get into to coast. So yeah. Anyway, how's everyone else doing? Christ, I was talking a fucking hour about ripping on my own industry. There you go. You got into game dev to go exactly. Yeah, burnout culture is really bad. And especially when you first get into it, because it's this like rite of passage or badge of honor, where it's like everyone else around you is there and doing it, and you want to be a team player, and you want to fit in, you want to do this, you want to impress people, and it's like, oh yeah, I work this one, and I'm like, now I'm like, cool. I'd rather make less money and work less hours. I really would. I would rather sit on my couch and stare at the wall than do overtime and be not paid for it, because I'm just like, I can't do it. I had to turn down a job recently because of that, because it was just like, my friends were there and they're like texting me like, yeah, I'm heading home, and I'm like, it's 11 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I just finished, and I'm like, I can't do it. I could make a lot more money, but I'd have zero life. I'd have zero life, and if I'm gonna have zero life, I'd rather choose how I have zero life. How long before rename Crunch to Blitzkrieg and offer you free amphetamines? Dude, I wish they offered free amphetamines for us to get through the work. But now culture seems to be big in the creative commercial. Well, it's big in that space. Already pixel effects for a living. Might as well add. Yeah, there you go. They do it because most people get into a creative field because they're passionate about it, and they prey on the artistic side of you wanting to do something that you're passionate about, because you're probably not business minded. And so it's a creative field ran by business people who don't have to do anything, but can use that and use guilt and use portfolios and use blacklisting and all these things and all these really weird tactics against you. Because the other thing you have to keep in mind is like you might piss off the wrong person in this industry, and you're like, oh well, I'm never gonna work for that studio again. But they might not stay at that studio. They might move somewhere else, and suddenly you're now blacklisted from 2 places, and then they move to another 3, and like it gets really really small, and then you get into parts where it's like I've had it before. It's like I desperately needed a job, and I applied for it, and they asked me for my rate, and I gave it to them, and they just ghosted me. And I replied, I was like, I need work. I was like, I need work. Like, yeah, sure, I'll take whatever. And then suddenly replied, right? I was like, man, someone. And then my first day when they were signing the contract, someone sat next to me and they were making like, I want to say $30,000 more than me for the same job. And it was just like, fuck, it's so fucked. And then I worked at another place and I was making $20 an hour more than someone else doing the same job. And they were like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah. I spoke to people and they told me what to ask for and what to get. And he was like, yeah, I asked for like Vancouver rates. And I was like, I didn't. I was like, I asked for that rate. And so there's like a lot of secrecy with that stuff, right? So, and that's why they don't want you talking about wages, because then everyone will find out everyone is doing the same job, whether they deserve it or not, or at different levels, it causes problems. So big money, small number of people, especially, yeah. All right, Twitch is gonna run an ad. Christ, I really have spoken for an hour. Twitch is gonna run an ad. I'm gonna preemptively run it. I'm gonna take a bathroom break, and then I'll jump into some gaming, and then we can still talk about this stuff though. I'm always happy to talk about this. I'll be right back. 30K more. It's it is quite a lot. I'll be right back. We are so back. Happy to talk about it one sentence at a time. Man, my eyes are a little. I've been in this room like all day today. This is where I work as well. So I just change over from my Mac to my PC. It's funny because it's like this is part of the reason why I think I mentioned it before that I writing it was originally gonna be a movie, but I want to write it as a series called Fix It in Post, and it's about the VFX industry in a very like Silicon Valley industry, like the show industry, like kind of way of like all of like kind of like a Skins way too, where it's just about like the stuff that happens, and it's like about the projects people on and the way they behave and like deal with stuff and deal with like the stress of it. And I think that was really a really interesting idea. Like there's one time when I remember I was working on a project and it was like absolute crunch time. It was coming up to Comic-Con delivery for a trailer, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do a Q&A with the supervisor, and we're gonna like get to know you. It was all about like if you've got questions. We thought it was gonna be something about telling us about the project and tell us like updating us on the project, where we're going, things like that. And it was like we get into this meeting and the guy spends 45 minutes telling us about his skin routine and like answering these Q&A softball questions from the production team about like how he met his wife and what routine he uses for his skin, and like just insane. We were just like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this? That was like not the same meeting as the person where like you knew what you signed up for. This was a different meeting, but same studio. Like a JPod, but post JPod. I don't know this, but yeah, kind of just like yeah, about like the VFX industry and just kind of like focusing on those kind of things. Do you have a dog? What does he do? Yeah, it was just like it was so weird. Like the guy was talking about his skin routine when he talked about, you know, why he got into VFX. He was like, "Yeah, I didn't really care about it. I just wanted a job that paid me a lot of money and I wanted a really hot wife and I got both of those things." And we were like, "Yikes, dude. This is not what you probably should be talking about in a company meeting." Like, what the fuck? It's like, "Okay, sure thing." I mean, he was making a lot of money. He was based in LA. And he was like an overall, so he was probably making like over $300,000 US, easy. LA. What's that Rachel Sennett TikTok, which is like, it's LA, baby, it's LA. We're doing drugs, it's LA. Douglas Kuplenberg, J-Pod, about video game industry, do basically sat EA Burnaby and wrote a book about it. Got to, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess kind of like that, yeah. And just like pulling in stories of like the stuff that people have been through, the studio shutdowns, the whole Greenlight Academy, NPC, where they would bring you in and pay you minimum wage, and but expect you to do stuff like on what was the on Prometheus. You'd work on Prometheus and you get paid minimum wage, and if you quit within 6 months, you had to pay them back every penny that you'd earned because it was classed as paid teaching, like an internship. And then they offered that to me, which would have more than halved my salary. And when I said no, the guy screamed at me on the phone and said I was being ungrateful for the opportunity. NPC, yeah. Ungrateful for the opportunity, and if the show if it's what it took to get the show done, he would be happy to like sweep the floors and scrub the toilets, and I'm just being entitled. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. That sounds great. NPC tried to hire me for it was like 2019, and they were like desperate to hire people to finish Sonic, the first one, and Cats. They had to get Cats done, and they were like screwed. Because they kept fucking up, and they fucked up so many times where I heard rumors that they allegedly, excuse me, on Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they went so over deadline that there was a clause written in the Marvel contract that for every week they were late on the deadline, they had to pay Marvel back $100,000, allegedly. And they were so over like insane, like stuff like that. They just did insane things where it's like they would do things where they'd hire a bunch of juniors and have like two seniors run an entire project and have it so they had to oversee the juniors, so the turnover was just insane. But they tried to hire a bunch of people for Cats. They got a bunch of people in on like visas and then shut the studio down immediately after Cats and just left these people high and dry in Vancouver. Cat S animation special required, play with it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they were desperate for people. They were notorious for paying fuck all. Like, they would pay a senior artist, they would try and pay a senior artist with 10 years experience, like $45K a year. And you're just like, that's not entry level, but that's like an insane number. That's an insane number to like offer to senior people. People would take it because they wanted those shows on their showreel. But they were notorious for underpaying, and like what they do is they undercut every other company on bids, and that's why they did pay people really low. And that's why they did the Comp Academy, because they bring juniors in and pay them even less than that. They paid them $28K a year, and pay them less than that and make them do all of the work, and have like a couple of these seniors that were underpaid take on all the work. And then yeah, when it came to Cats, they were like offering any amount of money. They were like, yep, whatever rate. And I was like, something's up. I was like, you guys, it's like when you look at fucking real estate and you're like, oh man, everything's so expensive, but then one thing comes up and it's like 100 grand under everything else. You're like, no, something's fishy about this. Sounds like some of your recent cold calls. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. You're just like, nah, it sounds out, and then yeah, they went under. There's other studios where it's like one studio, the studio was it Hydraulics, who made Skyline, straight up just stopped paying people at one point multiple times, but wouldn't release them from their contract so they couldn't take on other jobs, and said just to go home until they had enough money come in from a client to pay them all again, like owed money on like stuff like that. When I worked on Game of Thrones, the studio I worked at then, the owner of the studio was anyone below a certain threshold, he was writing checks from his personal bank account to pay our salaries. Like, fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. 250 days on the market, but maybe a deal no one has seen yet. 255 days on the market. They've dropped the price 3 times. And yeah, it's just like, yeah, what a deal. What a deal. It's like, what's going on? So, I don't know. My new place, I'm like worried now that there's gonna be a fucking I'm worried there's gonna be a fire station built next to it, and I'm like, oh no. But you know what? I'll take that more than being here. Don't fuck with my money. Oh, 1,000. But like at this point, I'm 1,000% that. I used to be very scared of that stuff, and I'd be like, I'm afraid I'm never gonna get a job again. I'm like, fucking try me. What have I got to lose? What have I got to lose at this point? Oh no, I get out of a toxic industry and I go work as a fucking shelf stacker. Rather fucking do it. Don't. You have no idea how far spite will take me. They later check by a week. Oh yeah, I don't stand by that. I'm like, no. It's like, then I'm done. The contract is I work, you pay me. You no pay me, I no work. Bye. It's like, fuck no. Absolutely fuck no. You know, like the whole thing with DNEG. That was a big thing twice in the pandemic, where they were cutting people's salaries and then loaning it back to them that you then had to pay them back. Like, what the fuck is that about? Twice. And that led them to being the only unionized studio, one of the only unionized studios in Vancouver. Now they don't hire anyone because they shut everything down and just stopped hiring. If you guys stand up that crap, I just can't fucking do it. I would rather, if I'm gonna, like, obviously, like, I'd rather be paid if I'm gonna deal with crap like that. But if I'm, like, just because you're paying me a good salary, you're paying me because I'm worth that money because of my ability and my experience, things like that. It's like, but that doesn't give you the right to treat me as subhuman. That doesn't give you ownership over me. And that's what pisses me off. I see so many people do that and they bend over backwards to do that. And I'm just watching them break apart as human beings. And it's sad. It's disappointing. And that guy I mentioned earlier, it's like, he still fucking hates me. And apparently still rants about me this day after that whole time. And I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to say or do, man. It's like, you know, we all went through stuff. We all were dealing with stuff. Like, it's a stressful time, but it's like, instead of dealing with your own issue, you're just projecting onto me, and I've become that source of whatever it is. And it's just like, yeah. You want someone to fuck your money, contract lawyer, employment lawyers would take them to bend. Oh yeah, I mean, that's the same with like my situation, not to like with my landlord. It's like, yeah, you know what? At this point, I would rather spend thousands of dollars with a lawyer if it gets the point through to you of like why you fucking suck. And I'm like, yeah, try it. Fucking try, do what you're doing, and we'll see how it goes. Like, spite, my spite out at this point, I have nothing to lose. Except maybe a house. But I have nothing to lose, and that spite is a powerful motivator for me, because now I'm at the point where I'm like, clearly the lesson hasn't been taught to you. So if I'm the one that has to teach you the lesson and it costs me to teach you it, I will pay the entry fee, because someone needs to teach you that fucking lesson. Worst case scenario I've been in so far was getting hired as design director, signed a contract, and I find out all the other staff had no contract. They were just there on a pinky promise. Had to use the Labor Board of Ontario to get paid for. Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, and And the worst part is those studios will just keep going. And they just cycle through, and there's new juniors every year, and there's new people every year, and it's just like, yeah, some people are just so desperate for work. I saw people all across LinkedIn during the pandemic getting, like, when the DNEG thing happened and they were like slashing people's salaries by 50% and loaning it back. People are on LinkedIn and like, you guys all fucking suck. I would take that in a heartbeat. You're so ungrateful. And you're like, why are you licking the boot, my guy? Like, we're not fighting it. Like, I wasn't there, but it's like, we're not fighting this to like not benefit. We're fighting it for everyone to benefit. It's just, it's really hard for change to happen. People have to make sacrifices, right? It's a standoff. It's the same as any kind of union-based thing. It's crazy. And it's like, but at the same time, like, these people, I couldn't even get EI, like employment insurance, during the pandemic. I didn't qualify for it. So it's like, I had to survive on savings. I had to survive on that. I had to take on other things. It's like, some people just, like, their pride and their ego is like, they think that they're above other things. Like, no, if I have to go and work at a supermarket and stack shelves to survive, guess what I'm fucking doing, buddy? Going and stacking shelves. I'll go back and, not to UK, but like, I'll go find a fucking lumberyard and fill bags of sand again like I did when I was 15. Like, if I need to survive, I'll fucking survive. I used to do that. I used to fill bags of sand for 6 hours a day for 20 pounds a day because I was too young to qualify for minimum wage. What's not even so, yeah. Dad is one of those guys who'll bend over backwards for a company and told you to because they reward you. The only reward they'll give you is the ability to work. Yeah, the reward they'll give you. You think you're getting rewarded because they're giving you a scrap, but they're not. They're not giving you anything. Like you said, Paragon, it's like you might get rewarded. Oh, you're getting a 50-cent pay rise. That's great. Right, but every new starter is starting at $3 more, $2 more. SG, you know what game we're playing tonight. It's just I'm in a yappy mood. You know what game we're playing. General lawyer was a friend of a friend. All the work pro bono. He's an environmental defender of Canadian oil field. Had to move. Ooh. Oh shit, that's fucking crazy. Working in the Canadian oil fields. Ooh. Got to work on TMNT in a Power Rangers game. So that was the only bonus getting into the Nickelodeon world. I worked on TMNT as well. Well, I talked about that the other day when I showed you all the crew shots. But yeah, sometimes it's like getting to work on a project you care about. It can be a blessing and a curse because you want to be on that project, but then there's times where you're like, man, this is really tainted this for me. You know, that's like, this is really kind of like, it was not a great experience. Like, it took me a year to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It took me a year, and I really like Guardians of the Galaxy. It took me a while. Straight up sandbagging it just all day, every day. 14, 15 years old, driving a giant digger, filling up sandbags, loading up cars, you know. You know how it is. We set up too many kids coming out of school, trust the system too much. It sucks that you need to get burned once and then. Yeah. Well, the problem wasn't necessarily that we told them that. The problem is that when that advice was relevant, Taco, the system did work in that way. And so everyone that left that system, who was like, when we were 14, 15, they were like 30, like parents, whatever, let's say, like Generation X, Boomer, whatever, they did benefit from it. But the problem is they benefited so much that they just took so much advantage of it, crashed it into the ground, and left us to pick up the pieces. That's the problem. Like, now you come out, you can't, unless you're the child of someone who's wealthy, you can't just bullshit around for a couple of years and work menial jobs. And, you know, at least like maybe in like North America, there's jobs that you can do and make an okay amount of money. Like, we talk about like servers, things like that. You can make an okay amount of money. It's not great, but like, you could live in a major city and as a server, like it's doable. But in the UK, that's not doable. You could live in a fucking warehouse as an artist for like $5,000 a year, you know? It's like, you can't do that now. There's so many things that you can't do. Like, none of it makes sense. And so, And then we're still expected to be grateful. It's fucking crazy. That's the worst part about it, is like, we should be grateful for them fucking us over. Show your back as 15-year-old. Yeah, exactly. Great. CC and emails when needed. Laugh your ass off when someone shit themselves calling to apply. Yeah, that's the good stuff, when it's like they're the big talker until they realize. I mean, that's the thing again with like my landlord. Until he realizes he's being. When I tell him I'm recording this, or I reply with an email, and then he realizes that it's like, oh shit, this might be on the record. Suddenly, fucking Mr. Nice Guy comes out, and it's so interesting. When your ex-friend said some shit you did not stand for, I don't mind talking about. So if you wanted to ask, will not take sick days because he says some of us need our jobs to survive. Yeah, if the job is going to kill you, that pisses me off in many ways, because it's ignorant of other people need the job too. And so you're going to go in when you're sick and you're going to jeopardize their health. But also, if you work a job and they don't care about you enough, if you're going to lose your job because you are sick, that's not a job that you want to keep. That's not a job you want to be loyal to. Any job that tells you it's like family, you fucking run. Because every single place that's ever described that to me has turned on me on a fucking dime whenever I've needed something back. Like, I worked at a place and I went on set as a supervisor, and they were like, yeah, that's great. We're so great, so happy this. They weren't paying me enough. So I was like doing a supervisor's job for like fuck all. Like, oh, you're doing such a good job. Yeah. I was like, cool. And then I got contact. I applied to Weta at one point, like ages ago. Weta's like an insane. I think it took a year for me applying to actually like working there. And it was like, I applied, never heard anything, and I got a reply from them eventually. And it was like for a position starting in like September. This was like March, April time. And out they were like, yeah, we got a position for you starting in September. Cool. Told that company, I was like, hey, just to let you know, it's like, love being here and everything. I got an opportunity to work at like this studio. I've wanted to, this has been like a bucket list place. I really want to work at Weta. And in September, I'll be doing it. So I'm available to the end of this project. Once the project's done, I'm going to move on to that. Suddenly, I was removed as the supervisor, and they were really hostile towards me. They get really like snappy at me in meetings, things like that. And I was just like, man, what the fuck is this? Like, this is so weird. Like, if I have someone who I've given an opportunity to gets to go and do something bigger, and like they get to like learn from me and everything, and they go off, you know what? That's a good thing, because it's like, it's the Richard Branson way, right? Of he's like, yeah, if they choose to stay, we reap the benefits. If we train people and give them every opportunity and they stay, we reap the benefits of some of the best trained people in the world. And if not, if they choose to move on with those skills and go somewhere else, they're going to walk away and be like, man, that was an incredible place to work. That's going to, like, our reputation, we'd rather have that, because they might come back to us one day with new skills, but also our reputation. And I'm like, yeah, I walk away from the place. I'm like, man, you gave me the opportunity, but then you turned kind of shitty and you started like being weird with me. And I'm like, I'm not really going to speak, I'm not going to speak negatively necessarily, but I'm not going to speak highly of you. I'm just like, yeah, I worked there. Like, and now it's like a missed opportunity, because I could walk around and be like, oh man, they gave me this opportunity. They like, it was great, that it was such a great thing. And I'm like, yeah. Whereas like the company I'm at now, it's like, I'll give them absolute credit of just like, whenever these things have come up, they have truly gone out of their way and been like, no, we want to make this happen. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, you don't owe me anything. You don't owe me anything. And they do go out of the way to do it. And I really, really appreciate it. I wouldn't have been able to buy a place if I didn't work at this place, because no one else would have gone through what they did for me to do that, because they wanted me to be here. But at the end of the day, I've said to them many times, I'm like, yeah, if you have to work for me, I can't just sit around and not earn money. Like, I'm going to apply for other jobs. And they're like, yeah, we totally understand. And I'm like, you have my respect. You have my absolute respect for that, because they understand that I am a person first, right? They hope that I will come and do a good job for them, a great job for them, but they understand that I am a person first. And I do really appreciate that. And that goes a long way with me. That does, because they have, there's always going to be problems at every place. And I think there's growing pains of like being in different countries and things like that. But like on a general sense, it's like we respect each other as people and treat each other with that respect. and understand that things happen in this and that. And it's like I feel like even if I did go somewhere else, and I would be welcome back with open arms because they get it, because they understand if I go somewhere else, I'm going to gain new skills and bring that back, right? Good boss knows people will move on. Well, and you only walk away from that experience with good things to say, because you're like, you know what? They could have been shitty about this, and they weren't. Not anything that drove less. Someone's crying. Yeah, how sad it beats never grow. Yeah, it's just like I don't get it. Or it's that idea of I'm not going to train someone. I'm not going to help them and give them anything, because they're going to take the information I give them and they're going to take it somewhere else. And I'm like, why would you stop that? Like, what are you gaining from that? Right? You're hurting that person's chance to grow. That could be someone who becomes a supervisor at some point, or gets in another place one day, and you apply in that place, and they're like, hey, I love working with that guy. I love working with that person. Yeah, hire them. They know a bunch of stuff. They do this or that. How does it ever hurt you to share more information? Within reason. Like, maybe don't share your social security number, but like, I just don't get it. 2 red flags, they know, they said in the job, they said they were found late. Yep. It's always the one. They told me there's a store got in the union. HR would lose their job, and you don't want. Oh yeah, no. Oof, not good. Not good. Weird manipulative coercion tactics, and I'm like, if a union got in a union, HR would lose their job. It's like, well, maybe if you ran a better company, people wouldn't want a union. Just, Yeah, that's not ideal, Paragon. No matter what you do working for with someone, they're going to learn, take something from the job. Yeah, at least, yeah, if they're going to take something away, at least try and make it a good thing, right? At least, like, don't make it something that's a sour opinion or a bad thing, right? Because, like, the truth is, a lot of people will work. Man, this keeps redlining. I think I've really fucked it. People will work longer hours for less money at a place that they really love being at. Because if you make them feel like a person and that they are respected and they have autonomy, they will bend over backwards for that. The difference is manipulating them into doing it is not it. Like, that's not it. You create an environment where you trust them and you respect them. Like, that's what I've done in my studio, I hope. And like, we've had some issues with some people where it didn't work out, and that's fine. And they're probably not going to have a good opinion of me. That's totally fine, because it's like their experience was negative because we had to deal with certain things, right? Because it's like, yeah, if you were not extended because of these actions, and it's me being the one where it's like, I don't think we should extend this person, you're probably not going to look at me favorably. They're just not. It doesn't matter if I'm a good person, bad person, whatever. It's all individual. That's fine. But there are people that have left that studio who have like said to me when they're leaving, because we just didn't have any work, that I was the best supervisor they've ever had. And they've worked in the industry for years. Sent me emails thanking me. And I'm like, that's what I want. It's like, I don't put stock in the value of people who I think have kind of acted shitty. And if they don't like me, then they don't like me. I'm not going to waste time worrying about that, or trying to change the mind of someone who's just going to hate me for like reacting appropriately to their own actions, right? But it's those other people, I'm like, no, I helped them. I trained them. I gave them opportunity. I treated them like adults. I let them manage their own time. And if they didn't manage their own time, that's when I stepped in. That's when I jumped in on those situations, because I was like, okay, you can't be trusted with this. You need more. Not that you can't be trusted to manage your own time. You're an adult, but like, when it comes to this, you clearly need more structure. You clearly need more direction, and I will give that to you, but I'm going to let you try, right? And it's not to be condescending to them or anything, but it's like, I think that people, when they feel like they have ownership over something, they enjoy the job more. Even if like they don't want to work overtime. That's fine. That's as long as they get the stuff done, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Good night, Paragon. Thank you for sharing that, though. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry that you feel like you're kind of stuck in that role. And but I hope that the good that you get out of it outweighs like outweighs a lot of the bad stuff too, Like I think that you're always going to end up like no job is ever going to be perfect, no situation is going to be perfect, but I hope that at least what you do get out of it is a benefit to you. Let's say the managers I respect because they respect me in a time. Yeah, because they treat you like a person. Contract ends October. Cam doesn't know it yet, but I'll be moving in with. Well, I don't think there's enough room. Reminds me of your roommate. Oh god. I'm gonna driving him insane. Too late. Too late. That was a private message. Oh my bad. My bad for reading what you wrote in my chat. How rude of me. Man, I was looking at new mattresses today, and I was thinking I'm gonna get. I don't necessarily love the hybrid mattresses, but I think that makes the most sense for me is getting a hybrid mattress. And I was looking at the Sealy Posturepedic one. Man, do the ratings on that stuff buying as new bed? No, I'm not. Man, does that stuff like vary in rating of just like 2-star, 1-star. Like there's like a bunch of 5 stars, but it's one person, and then there's like 3 stars with. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know how to pick a mattress because everyone has such different tastes. I'm like, I don't fucking know. And I have a Casper mattress. I've had it for 10 years and I need to get rid of it. And I was going to order a Sealy one from Costco. I think I could fit a king size in my new place, but I'm not sure. The room is like 11 foot wide. And I think it will, but they say that the minimum size should be like a 12 foot. But I do think a king would fit in there. I have tried a purple mattress. One of my exes had one. It was very good to begin with, like very firm, and then eventually it was a pain, but it was super heavy, like insanely heavy, insanely heavy. And it's all like memory foam. I like the hybrid because it has the coils, so it has like the spring in it, plus the memory foam. Like I'm interested in that. Suggestion is go to a mattress. Yeah, I think so. I like the purple one was fine. It was okay, but I don't know how it would last long term. That's the only thing. But I am thinking like a king size bed because a queen is fine, but I do like the idea of the extra space. And if it's a place I'm going to stay in absolutely for the next 6 to 10 years, then I want to get nice shit, Or you could choose your room, book the norms. Are you sleeping in a hammock? Friend had neck and back pain because of working desk job extended hours. Chiropractor advised sleep on the floor without a mattress. So I did that, and then it fucked my back up more. I literally did that. I actually for a while when I had my first apartment that I moved in on my own here, I slept on on the floor / a camping pad because I didn't have a bed, and it made my back worse. It made my back so much worse. I think I'm going to get a firm mattress. That's definitely what I'm going to go for. I thought about the Sealy ones because you can get the actual, like, adjustable things for it where you can actually, like, kind of take the shape. Kings down. Wait, what is Aqua's? Oh my god, it won't let me click this. What is Aqua's setup? Is it a hammock? Is it a business hammock? Okay. Interested. Very expensive. Interested. My god, $4,000 for a mattress. Can I just get a twin XL? What's the difference between a twin XL and a queen? Other than $900. I'm not gonna lie, this looks like a pretty sick mattress. Jesus Christ, yeah, right? The thing is though, Taco, it's like I'm at a point where it's like if I'm gonna sleep on this thing, or sorry, as an insomniac, if I'm only gonna sleep on this every other night, I want it to be the best sleep I've ever had. I really do. And I think that $4,000, Christ, I've spent more than that on cameras. I've spent more than that on my computer. Let's not talk about what I've spent that on. Not when you get it on sale. Oh, true. So true. Yeah, I'd probably wait. Sent you a DM on Discord. Oh, God, it's his penis. You two sending me penis. Oh, no, sorry, it's not. It's, I thought about that. It's like it's like the Japanese bed. The fuck is it called? That's 2 chemist penises. Just Is that the nickname for your penis? Shiki Bouton. That's what I do every night. I shake my bouton. Difference between a twin XL and the Queen is one, you can get a wide selection of stuff for the fit, and the other, okay, fair enough. Matches have a 2-month sales cycle. There'll always be a brand on sale. Okay, I'm interested in this one. I'll probably go to the Sleep Country, because there's one on Granville as well. I really want to. One, I need to make sure that it'll fit in my place, but and then this one is on sale. Jesus Christ, it was $5,000. It's 25% off. $5,000 mattress for $3,700. I think I paid that for my TV. Again, I only buy stuff once every like 10 years now. So if it costs like $4,000, that's not insane. Futon family, yeah. So suggestion: move in with your current one, then we get a new one. That's exactly what I was gonna do. That's why I was looking at the Sealy one from Costco, because they do the white glove removal where you pay like $80 and they take it. But I was gonna do that. My mattress will last me a little bit, and it's one of those ones that has a foam base built in, so I'm not gonna buy a frame for it yet. I'm just gonna have it on the floor, which is fine. And then eventually because I want to see if I can fit a king in there, because a king is like 16 inches extra width or something. So I want to make sure I can measure it, but I want to see what it feels like in the space, right? Go to Sleep Country and try a few, then try more a different time. Yeah. 100-day test. Yeah, that's the thing I don't like about the purple mattress and the Casper mattress is like, once you fucking inflate them, they're like, yeah, you can return it 100 days. I'm like, how? How am I supposed to send this back? You could slowly disassemble your current mattress and stuff it into the walls of the place before you move out. Prime content. Yeah, okay. Well, it's like that stuff where it's like you put old like shellfish into the curtain rods and everything, right? And it starts to smell and oh man. Baller. Dude, I looked at that the other day. I saw like an ad for it, the 8 Sleep, and everyone's like, I'm not paying $2,000 just for a water mattress thing that I then have to pay $20 a month to subscribe to for it to work. And also apparently it leaks after a year. Like everyone has said. 5 hours to gym. Oof. Go sleep. Good night, Scott. Yeah, you have to pay a subscription for it to work. Yeah. Like you're paying $2,000 to get a subscription, and then it doesn't work. But yeah. No, my mattress is like okay. I'm hesitant to get rid of it because I think it'd be a really good guest mattress, but then I remember I'm moving into a 600 square foot apartment. Where the fuck is anything gonna go? I'm gonna get one of those expandable airbeds that like it kind of expands out, but it's like a queen size and it fills up. But then aside from people I've dated, I've had one person stay over in the last 9 years. So, which was my friend Danica when she was doing an acting gig, and she just like, I slept on the couch and she took my bedroom. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just get an inflatable thing if I ever need one. With the second mattress. True. Honestly, my couch is really comfy too. I was thinking instead of getting a coffee table when I move, because I want to get rid of mine because it fucking sucks. I was gonna get my couch is from Article, and they make an ottoman that's not really made for like the L shape with the chaise, but it's just like a regular couch one. But I was thinking of getting that because you could just push it in and then it becomes like a giant thing, and you just put like a topper on. You just assumed anyone from Czech could crash at camps are free if they made out. Well, no, you don't make it out to the coast. You gotta make out with me. That's the rule. You can crash at mine, but we gotta kiss. That's the price. We gotta kiss. Rules are rules, man. Rules are rules. I don't make them up. I don't make them. I just follow them. I just abide by them. Okay. If you got a problem with that, take it to the artist manager, and they'll end your contract early. All right, it's been fucking. Christ, it's 20 to 11. I haven't even played Timberborn yet. I will say, not very many bingo cards have been brought up. We didn't really go into that. We didn't really go into the. This is a just chatting stream now, Toxic. This is it. This is what we're doing. At least look. At least we talked about something different. Just me shitting on my entire industry for fucking an hour and 30 minutes. Still shorter than, most movies should be. Okay, I watched a video recently, and it was it was a Make Art Now video, and he was interviewing Mel Gibson about his new movie Flight Risk, and he was interviewing him in the DP because they used like the DJI 4D, like the chicken head camera, and it was interesting. And it's like the biggest selling point that Mel Gibson had about his movie was like, yeah, it's like 80 minutes, man. It was tight. I was like, anything else, Mel? Anything else you want to say about your movie? I want to measure it first so I get an idea of how it feels in my space. Yes, that's exactly what I said. That's like someone, my friend Scott, told me that they wanted to try and squeeze through my tight spots today. So I was like, God damn, at least buy me dinner first. Not true. He actually did buy me dinner once. So technically, I owe him a hole. What are we doing? Timberborn. Christ. Mark Wahlberg, yeah. It's just like you can tell that he shaved it as well. I don't know. I saw that trailer when I think I saw that trailer when I went and saw Gladiator 2. And I was like, man, this looks terrible. And then I was like, Mel Gibson. I was like, I don't know. Mel Gibson, he might be a bigot, but he makes some good films. Did it not change? It should changed. 9 dinners for a date of golfing. Oh boy. Let me do it again. Maybe it didn't change. There we go. I bought you dinner for the first time I met you. 2 holes. No. Because I also introduced you to my gym. I didn't pay for you to go to the gym, but I introduced you to my gym. So our holes are even, so okay? You're going to have to work harder. Speaking of holes. Meat spitting. Oh, I should unmute the game, right? Now change. I spammed it like 10 times, SG. I spammed it so hard. And then it like times out and it's like, stop it! I didn't come up with a good title. I couldn't think of a good title today that made sense. I was in Mop's channel. Shocker, I know, Toxic. And just like shower thoughts pop into your head. Why is it these are clipped? Why you do this? Yeah, what's with the moishrooms? Oh, it's because you can grow mushrooms if you play the Iron Teeth. But I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. You know when you just like think of something and you just have to tell someone, except the only person that you can tell is like a Twitch chat. So my thing that I thought of today was like, can someone who's really obsessed with boobies be classed as having glandular fever? Because like it's where the milk glands are. Is that a thing? And then that's the only thing I could think of for a title for the stream. And I was like, yeah, I can't do that. So I went with moist mushrooms instead. But you know what? I think I made the wrong choice. I think I should have gone with glandular fever boobies as the title. Gland fever beaver. That was like, yeah, I couldn't really get it to work. I was going to be like, yeah, gland fever. Yeah, something like that. I just couldn't get the syntax right, but anyway, thoughts, feelings, does that count as glandular fever? What are we doing? Not in, like just in life, but what are we doing in the game? I really need to poop as well. I've eaten so much protein. Pause. I've eaten so much steak and turkey in like the last 2 days because like I only ate 1,300 calories the other day and I was like, oh, I gotta make up for this. So I ate 2 donuts, a giant steak, 3 turkey sausages, chicken breast, and some cheese yesterday. And then today I've basically eaten the same, where I've eaten about 190 grams of protein, but only 1,700 calories. And so I think my body's dying. I don't know. Oh, hello. Okay, well. Oh, I can zoom in. Okay, cool. Oh, you can keep going, dude. Okay, they need to fix that. What are we doing? Okay, so let's recap. Okay, we're gonna do an Apple TV recap. Previously on Beaverance, we've built all of the berries over here. What do we put in that? Gears. Makes no sense, but it is going over there. Here, we're putting in fermented soy boys. Canola seeds go in here because we haven't built the storage of these yet. Actually, I might just like switch. Oh, that's the berries. We might switch these up when we get to it. We got 2 water tanks. We've got a bunch of seed oils, which is nice. I think I might just need to make a bigger one of these, to be honest. Because, like, we're filling it up. We're brimful of Asher right now, okay? We are building another fermenter, which is good. Which is pretty nice. What are you doing? Fermented soybeans. Okay, yeah, because we're making so much fucking oil. Yeah, we make fermented mushrooms, baby. We changed out some of the Kobayashi Marus for some soybeans. I think I gotta get on the eggplant game, though. I think I have to get onto the eggplants soon. I just don't know what to do with them. We could also do the mushrooms, but I want to put some mangroves in here. Need some men going up here. Want to grow some men. What am I doing? What am I talking? Is the crack cocaine in my tea? I don't think so. But if I enunciate, then I think I might have a stroke. We are getting scrap up here, but we don't have any smelters yet because I paused those. We do want to get some smelting going, though, because I want to get some metal pieces so I can start swapping out some of these with sluices. Oh, baby, don't post that in my chat, Pyro. You don't know what's going on down below this table right now. Your body dies every day. That is true and depressing. All the other calories better have been veggies and rush. I did. I bought some bags of frozen veggies where it was like peppers and onions. And so today I did. Oh, so I reheated my steak in the air fryer. So I made it was like 2 pieces of steak. It was like, I just averaged it out. Like, it was like 500 grams. So I did 250 both days, but it was like, today was like a smaller steak. And I did them like almost perfectly medium rare. And I was like, fuck, how do I like reheat this? I could do it in a pan. I could do this. Air fryer, baby. Air fryer. Air fried it for 5 minutes at 325, 330. 5 minutes. Heated it up beautifully and kept it still as pink in the middle as fill in the blanks yourself. And so I'm a believer. I believe it. It tasted like it was just cooked. And so yeah, I had a bunch of poppers. No, I didn't definitely have poppers. I mean, poppers might help me go to the bathroom, but didn't have any poppers. I had peppers, onion, and I had some mushrooms I had to use up. So I threw some mushrooms in too. I've also still left the game paused because I'm trying to just figure out my thought process. We do want to get sluices, so we need more people. That was the thing that we needed. We need more beavers because right now we're at replacement levels of 35. I think we need more, so I'm going to put 1 more down. Substances generally plant origins is mostly complex carbs, which undigested when eaten by humans, therefore help passage of food waste to dietary fiber. Yeah. Speaking of enunciating, how's the streamer man pronounce H? H or H? I pronounce it H. H. Horatio Huffnagel. Alright, we'll make him move faster. Where are you guys going? Why would you go that way? Like, why? Why you do this? I think last stream you also mentioned about making explosive blasting needle water. Yes, I did. Thank you. So yeah, the other thing was building some of like, I'm just gonna draw it. So putting in these. I don't know if that's it. Yeah, 1 more. Okay, you want to put in these, right? And then it was essentially, I'm not going to do this yet because I actually need to make them lower. I need to dig it out first and then do this because then it won't make sense. But essentially we're going to put 3 more of these on here, blast this down, and then put dams around this so that essentially doesn't pull from our main water supply. That was what we were going to do. I'm going to cancel these because I don't want them actually built right now. There we go. He doesn't pronounce it the way it's spelled. H. I don't remember because I know British people say it weird, but I don't talk British anymore, so I don't remember what I'm actually supposed to sound like. I've completely forgotten how I sounded. I sounded a lot more Scouse. I know that, but I don't know how to pronounce words in a British way anymore. H. Roughage is how she likes it in bed. Oh, baby, on a Sealy mattress or a purple? H. So it's H. Yeah, that's the way I say it. H. H. H from Steps. That's how I remember. H from Steps. He doesn't talk Canadian. If he says he doesn't speak British, then what the fuck is he speaking? What am I speaking? Fucking facts. How about that? That's what I'm doing. Fucking speaking facts, my brother. Spanglish. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Vancouverite? Is that like Vancouver and Wakanda? I don't think I can do that. I know I have the Wakanda Forever shirt, but I don't think I'm allowed to say that, Pyro. I don't think I'm allowed to use those words. Okay. So those are going. That's happening. Birthing pod. Oh, they built that so quick. They want them babies. We need some mines. We need some mines so that the kids can yearn for it. I forgot that I put you up here. Yeah, so we need more of these so that there's, we might actually need more birthing. Or, I guess we could just, like, eventually unlock this. But we don't have the metal to do that. You just sound like a wanker. Well, yeah, I mean, I would, if I, in another life, I would be a referee. And the referee's a wanker, so. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Oh, I didn't know you spoke Mancunian. I didn't know you were from the north of England, Aqua. Pleasure as always. Yeah, so we want to get the bad water. Okay, let's maybe... I guess if that's the case, I can just, like, destroy this. Yeah, I can just destroy this, and then we can access that. Nice and easy. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I don't want... You know what? You're gonna judge me, and I'm gonna be lazy. But I don't want to draw a path this way. It's gonna annoy me. So I'm actually just gonna put this here. And you can all just deal with it. Because I want to do it this way. And then we're gonna put a bad water pump. Pump the jam, pump it up. Oh, I can dance today. Make your booty on the floor tonight. Don't tell Shay. So that would be closest. True. Judged. Found more music festivals this summer and fall. Adjusted trip so you'd see more. Also, when are we not judging you? True. If you weren't... Oh, fuck. You know what? This isn't going to work. Wait, why is it flooding right now? Or am I just... No, I'm just a dumb bitch. Okay, hang on. Hang on. I didn't think it through. I was looking at it while the water was down. That's my bad. My bad. But what I am going to do is change it up a bit. So I'm going to put you... God, this is such a waste of, like, everything. There we go. Then I'm going to put you here. Oh, I didn't even pause. What an absolute melon. Go. There we go. Like, I'm not too worried about the path right now because we're gonna have to go that way regardless at some point. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know me, straight from straight ain't the word I'd use, but sure. Sure thing, buddy. Sure thing. Hashtag little gay. Hashtag little gay. Everyone's a little gay. That is just the way we stay in BC. The B stands for big. The C stands for cock. And that's why we rock. What the fuck are we doing? I still need to poo. All right. I'm gonna recenter myself and stop singing about horrendous things that I should not be singing. And I'm gonna preemptively run, you know, little gay, he's right over the... Is it me? I am a little gay. In more ways than one, but I'm gonna poop for fun. Okay, I'm gonna run the ads preemptively, and then we'll actually play a fucking game. Christ, what an absolute shit show. Alright, I'll be. Oh my god, that fucking timing, dude. What am I, the German rail station? Station? Fuck, I fucked it up. Fucked up the joke. What's the joke? What's the joke? What's the joke that I was going for? The German train schedule. Christ. Thank God Robin's not here to see this. Honestly, she would sue me. Scott's here and he's part German, but he's supposed to be in bed and going to the gym, so that's fine. Oh man. Okay, so one of the things that that has been slept on way too much that I used to buy all the time from Costco, and I'm absolutely going to be doing it again. Turkey sausages. Oh, hello. I turned the wrong one on. For some reason I must have pressed the camera alerts on. You can have, look, you can have as many as you want, okay? I'm gonna do a music video. But turkey sausages, man, the Lilydale. Oh, I don't know what it is. Okay, ground turkey, fine. It's fine, okay? It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's fine. But man, like, and like turkey bacon too, it's fine, okay? It's not as good as the real thing. It's not. But I don't know what it is about it being in sausage form. Pause. That I like so much about it. But oh my god. Sip coffee. It tastes so fucking good though. The breakfast sausage, just like kind of, but it's just like a turkey sausage, like the Lilydale ones. You can get them at Costco and they're like the small ones and they're really good. But like turkey sausages, holy shit. The macros are so good. It's insane. I think it's like per sausage, it's like 140 calories. It's 13 grams of protein. And it's like less than, I think it's like 9 grams of fat. Like it's fucking nothing. Damn commercial for Lilydale chicken. Cotton Hill, Lilydale in Quebec French. I've never seen it. I refuse to watch anything on TV and in French. So, yeah. So I've never seen The Artist or the Paris Olympics. So, yeah, whenever I played France 98, the FIFA game, I just put my fingers in my ears. I refused, okay? What about French public broadcasting? Well, like pissing in the street? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You sicko. Is this done yet? There was who was it? Robin sent me a video on Instagram the other day, and it was about like the like when all of the TV channels switched to color TV, and it was about Australia being like so overly dramatic about it. And it was funny, and then it cuts to France, and it's just five dudes standing around with cigarettes, and then it just goes from black and white to color, and they're like, "We," and that's it. And I'm like, "Fuck you, fuck you." Have some like it's fucking cool, okay? You don't have to be like, "Oh, I'm too cool for this." The ennui of it all. Yeah, okay. Fucking. What do you want from me, Gerard Depardieu? I don't know why he's catching strays. I guess because he's French. There we go. He was in a movie called Green Card, okay? Imagine if they made that movie today. We just wouldn't even get through the airport. Like, nope. Where's Robin anyway? I have German question. She's in Germany. So she's probably waking up, getting ready for work. She's also busy doing things and stuff. So a Germany question? Could have asked it. Well, I guess Scott couldn't really answer it. Okay, he's technically German, but it's that way of like when Americans say they're like, "Oh, I'm Irish," and it's like, "Are you? Or did you just drink Guinness one time?" It's like, you know, it's not real German. It's just called Heritage Erasure that I'm doing, and I'm okay with it as long as it's towards Scott. Fuck, that needs metal. Oh my god. Why does that one need metal? That's bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah, more someone who lives in Germany question. I don't know if Robin could really answer that. Does she even live in Germany? I think she just sleeps there sometimes. She exists on the internet. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Why am I erasing everyone's culture and heritage today? What's going on? What's happening? Who am I becoming? Everything's kind of going. I'm gonna jinx the fuck out of this. Fingers crossed that EU members soon, dude. look, been there, buddy, been there. And then my government decided, nah, we don't like having good trade programs, free travel between all countries, and sustainable economy. Let's not do that. So yeah, fucking Canada, let's go. Let's fucking do this. Oh my god, if we don't have to like import from the US anymore. There's so much stuff that Canada makes that exports to the US that the US then sells back to us. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Just put us in, coach. Put us in. We're ready. Be so good. Like, what's his name? Mark Carney got into power and immediately got rid of the carbon tax. And everyone's like, yay. I was like, they had to do that. He had to do that. Even though the carbon tax is like the stupidest thing, you pay it, but then they give it you back. But everyone's like, I'm paying a carbon tax. It's like, no, you're fucking not. You get it. It's not how it works. You just don't understand it. But it's like, you have to like do it for like the base fucking moron and be like, okay, well, you know, it doesn't make sense to have it in the sense of like, if you get it back, why are we doing it anyway? But it's like, there is an element to it. It's supposed to be a deterrent. It's like it's a deterrent. That's the point of it. But at least he's only getting rid of the consumer side with the like, yay. And it's like, guess what's going to happen? All the prices going to go up. Yay. It doesn't fucking matter if they can raise the price on anything. They would. They would. You know what? The government is ran by VFX post houses. That's what it is. They could charge you to breathe. They fucking would. Christ. Oh my god, this is going. Ooh. All right, we're surviving on berries right now. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. So we got to get our soy production up. Oh, okay. I have a question. SG, actually, I'm glad you're here. Connie just shifted the carbon tax on the industries. Yeah, 1,000, but that's exactly it. That's exactly it. It's like they've moved it to the industries. Everyone's like, yeah, we don't have to pay it now. It's like, oh, buddy, I don't think you understand it. Have you heard of a thing called tariffs? Yeah. You're mad about the tariffs? But then you think, I don't know. What if they want to make a serious difference on people? They want to make an actual serious difference. They need to get rid of the low duty taxes on imports. The fact that the barrier is $20 is fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. If they want to make a difference, put that shit up to $500. Put it up to $500. Like every other country does. You want to make an actual impact on people's bottom fucking line. $500. Oh yeah, anywhere but the US. But like $500. That's it. That's it. If you want to make an actual dent on that, two things that you could do. Okay, I'm going to speak very confidently about things that I don't understand. Okay, but I don't have to think of the consequences, so therefore it's okay. You raise the duty tax threshold to $500 like every other fucking country does in the world, and you increase the zero tax threshold from $11,000 to like 15 to 20, because it like doesn't do anything. That's not gonna make a fucking difference at all. Because they make money on the higher end of the tax. We already pay super high taxes. Raise it to 15K. Like, do that. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. There's a graph of countries based on business, intellectual property versus real estate. Canada's first on real estate investment is a ratio of business. Yeah, the real estate thing is crazy. The reason for that, as far as I know, is because everyone was told that to put money into real estate as their retirement plan rather than like invest money in the stock market, because it was a way to force people to actually save money because they weren't doing it, rather than like draining on the social security. But the problem is now all the houses are worth too much, no one can buy them, but also no one's willing to sell them. And that's caused a problem because they're like, oh, well, if I just wait one more year, if it just this, it's like, right, but again, even with my landlord, they don't understand the basics of finance. They don't actually understand what to do. They have these houses, and it's like, cool, but you don't know how to get the money out of it. The only way you know how to get money out of it is to sell it. That's it. Or you hope that someone will rent it from you and then pay you that amount. And it's like, it's just a weird fucking system. I don't know. It's so strange. We hunt down the rich and feed off their corpses. But they don't have enough meat on their bones. It's either just all fat or they're all skinny. That's it. It's just gonna taste of Ozempic. That's all it's gonna taste, you know? Just give me, I don't know, give me $500. I'll be okay with that. Ozempic poison meat? Yeah. You'd have to be careful with the wording so we don't get Temu'd. That's the, yeah, you know what? You're right on that, because the drop shippers would go crazy. But I think it's like, it would have to be on like commercial goods, you know? Like, it's to prevent, again, that whole thing is to prevent people from buying outside of the country. Like, I totally get it. But the fact that people have to do it because the prices are so insane here, it's a catch-22. Hi, Havoc. Something to make a stew out of them? We could maybe. Yeah, we could make, you know what we could do? We could make some broth. You know, make the broth out the bones. How about that? We could definitely get a little bit of CEO broth going. That's for sure. It might be a little weak. You know, might have to add a lot of salt and flavoring, but I think we can make it work. I think we can make it work. Oh, hell yeah, brother. Let's go. All right. This thing's about to pop off. Throw some potatoes and carrots in. There you go. Good to go. Still needs a little bit of extra meat on the bones. I don't know. Maybe we'll throw Bryan Adams in as well, just for good measure. No, not for any particular reason. I just don't. I don't like him. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it's the song that he sings with Mel C. I don't like it. I just don't want to hear it anymore. How about some barley? Maybe. Maybe. For a price. Hunt the rich, feed off the bank accounts. I mean, that's the other thing, right? Is it's becoming impossible for like I don't think you should give benefits to the rich, but I think that everything that Canada is doing is driving away businesses to put their money in other countries because the taxes here are so insane. Like they are high. I think here's the thing. More water tanks. I definitely think more water. Yeah. But what I'm waiting for, SG, is I need to get some metal. I need to get some metal. That's what I need. So I can build the big ones. And then what I can essentially do is kind of rotate out. So right now I'm working on that. So we can get this, so we can get bad water, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's on the docket. Gas station in Washington was crying on news day. Shocked. It's heartwarming to see they made Canada flags instead of the grocery store. People have just made the boycott happen on their own. Yeah, the problem I have with it, though, is that 5 months ago, we were boycotting Loblaws for price gouging, and now we're being told to buy Canadian, and Loblaws owns like 80% of all Canadian stores. So we're just back to, like, rewarding the people who price gouged us to oblivion. And then they're going to raise the prices again because of the carbon tax. I think, I don't know, what was I trying to say? It was like the businesses going elsewhere, and I think we're driving business away. I don't think we should be giving, fuck, I lost my train of thought, sorry. There's got to be some way just to incentivize businesses to spend money here, and it can't all just be tax breaks. Like, again, look at the movie industry, the film industry. They're giving, like, in BC, if you make a project here, you can get like 60% of your money back through tax incentives. If you shoot it here and do the post-production here, you can get like 58% of your money back. And I'm like, that's not how we should be running this thing. It's like, oh, that was it. I'm okay with paying more in taxes. The problem is we are not being given the value of what those taxes are being paid towards. I don't think our social services are good, but they're not as good as they should be relative to what we pay into. I think the stuff like that. And again, it's like we have so many benefits of like the hydroelectric, where it's some of the cheapest in the world because of the infrastructure we have. That's incredible. The fact that we can produce enough electricity to not only power basically the entire Canada and Vegas and these other states in the US, is fucking incredible. But then we also have like oil refineries, and we don't have any oil refineries, so we sell all the oil that we have down to the US, who refine it and then send it back at a premium. And I'm just like, this is actually Shay's take of like, we should be building oil refineries in Canada and doing it ourselves. And it's just that reliance. UK is the same, too much reliance on import export. And it's now, obviously no one expected this to happen, but we should have been prepared for that to happen. We need refineries. Our power system is incredible. I just think that we're not getting the value, as I said, we're not getting the value out of our social systems for what we're paying into it. I think it's very like precarious, but there's just too much, there's not enough competition, right? We have like two options really for phone service, internet service at a broad scale, things like that. So there's no competition. But at the same time, the government makes it, and the provinces make it so difficult for new businesses to pop up and thrive that we can't get any more competition. Like, look at the guy who set up a coffee shop, like a matcha shop in BC, right? He's like, it took him more than a year just to like get a place to do it because of the businesses, and the person that approves the permits owns a bunch of coffee shops, and it's like, there's no operating in good faith on those things. That it's like, it squashes any innovation, it squashes new business, and it squashes competition, which keeps the prices really high. Doesn't make sense. We should be getting more for our resources and taxation. Alberta is a prime example of rich, but boy howdy. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is like, they have less taxes, and that's all well and good, but they have like a little bit less taxes, but they have way worse services, and it's just like, we should be getting more. We should be getting more for our money. This is the problem I've had a little bit with Canada, where it's like, Canada treats itself like a big major hub for the world, especially Vancouver, especially Ontario, right? Toronto specifically. Toronto tries to be like New York. Vancouver tries to be like LA, right? The problem is it doesn't have the culture or the infrastructure to do that, but it costs as much as those places do to live. So like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And when we're paying so much, it's like, what, the average marginal tax rate is like 28%, which is very high. And then our average sales tax is 12%. And then prices are so high because of the fees. It's like, you can milk, like things like milk costing $6 is crazy. I mean, like, yes, there's a whole like chain of events that lead to like getting the milk in your hands. It's like, but even like things like bread, like I go to the bakery, I get the bakery bread now because it's so much cheaper. But why the fuck is a regular loaf of bread that's not the bakery one, why is it $6.50? That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. And the thing is, that's not even them making a shitload of money on it. It's like, why does it cost that much for it to get to the shelf to the consumer? We'll build our own refineries of blackjack and hookers, please. Connie spoke with Zelensky, and they were kind of hinting that there'd be some cross-pollination for drone and manufacturing. That'll be good. Good. Yeah. Good. I'd rather, like, we need to be, like, I think Canada will overall, but to be on the right side of history is, like, I think important. Especially for, like, Connie, because, like, man, I mean, I don't know, and I'm not following it enough, truly, to, like, really, like, again, speak as confidently as I am. I want to caveat that always. But it's, like, I was worried. I'm less worried now, but I don't think Pierre is going to get in. I don't think he's going to get in now. But there's still a chance. There is still a chance. Look at the way the BC voting went. That was scary. That was way too close for comfort. How can we tax so much and struggle to find a family doctor while the government doles out money in droves to other countries? That's what I mean, right? It's like, I don't think it's bad that they help other countries. I think that's a really good thing. But they're not looking inward first when there's so many problems already existing in Canada with the cost of living, people dealing with addiction, things like that. Like the things that are being subsidized and like services being cut. Family doctor, the whole thing with family doctor is like so many people are leaving to go to the US, but go into private because that's the only place they can make money, right? People become a doctor because they want to be a doctor, but at the end of the day, it's like the same as like an NHS doctor in the UK. They don't make good money. They make like what, 45K a year? As a doctor? That's fucking crazy. A vice principal of a high school makes that. That's fucking crazy. Capital gains thing is pissing off a lot of doctors. I mean, that's the thing is the capital gain, the polls don't matter until like true. So glad BC is reducing red tape for US doctors and nurses get licensed. Yeah, that's a good idea. The capital gains thing is only a problem because the only way that the doctors and the dentists can actually make money in their retirement is to sell their business when they retire. But if you actually made a system where they were paid well enough already, where you don't have to have things like TELUS Health come in. Why is the fucking TELUS doing this? It doesn't make sense. If you actually paid them well enough so that they stayed in the country, but also were able to set up their practices and make a good wage, I think that we should be paying doctors more. I think we absolutely should. I don't give a shit. They went through a lot of medical stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that relies on it. They also need to have that thing where, and I think they've started doing it now, that people don't have to be as high level and as highly qualified for certain levels of like prescription and actually like seeing someone like nurse practitioners, right? Which I think is starting to happen. Laws are doing the health thing because it's very, that's what I mean is like, it shouldn't be that way. They should be paid well. It shouldn't be that an entire, again, with the retirement thing of like people putting the money into the houses and that's the retirement. Your entire retirement shouldn't hinge on the fact of you selling something, right? Like that doesn't make sense. Something I said for a long time, so if you need to fix your own country before you go and help others, like you don't give money to charity if you can't pay for your own bills. Yeah, I mean, even the whole thing of like on a plane, right? It's like, if a plane is going down, they always say it's like the first thing you should do is, well, one, it's going down, but two, it's that you put on your own oxygen mask before you help others. You make sure that you're in good, because if you're not in good health and in a good solid place to help other people, you're not going to be effective at helping other people. Right? There is definitely ebbs and flows to that. And I think that's what screwed the US over is people were looking at what Biden was doing and they're giving billions of dollars to Israel, right? And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, there's people dying in the streets in the US. Well, there was something that I saw not that long ago, and it was like, what was it? I cannot confirm if it was real or not, but it was like a PSA in China for like families in the US and charities to give money to like support families in the US, right? Like they do on like Oxfam for people in developing countries and places that are struggling. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Can I have a big win poaching doctors or research? Oh, especially with the scientists. Yeah. From the States, let's dump money into R&D. Dude, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll give him some credit of, like, Mark Cuban, where he's doing that cost-plus thing, right? He's like, yeah, we're just going to manufacture the drugs that people need and sell them at cost plus 15%, and that covers our fees. Yeah, let's fucking do it. Like, what was the whole thing, recently, like, the potential thing of, like, they've cured AIDS, or they're, like, on the road to curing AIDS, and it's, like, things like that. Meanwhile, the U.S. is so busy... the White House is like dunking on people on the White House official thing. I accidentally clicked on a tab for Twitter today, which I haven't used in months now, and it shows you the recommended tweets through Grok or whatever the fuck it is. One of them for me was like the president. So every time he tweets, the fucking Twitter thing puts it into my notifications, even though I don't follow or anything. I was like, okay, what the fuck is, look at it. It's the official POTUS account posting a photo of Trump, of himself, then a picture of AutoPen, and then a picture of himself. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How is this real? How is this real? And he has a 47% approval rating? Are you fucking kidding me? Alright, do we have enough beeves? No. We still need more? Can you guys get fucking these pods, please? Christ. I know that's not how it works, but you know what? I have a flashlight. That's how it works, right? I don't have a flashlight. I just want to clarify that. I don't have a flashlight. Okay, I have 2 arms. What does that mean? Anyway, let's I never thought I'd say this. Let's get back to politics, shall we? Tesla is doing the health thing, very lucrative. Yeah. That and they're doing Let's Be all the things. Yeah. Well, I mean, they already fucking are. Loblaw's like 80% of the country. They own no frills, shoppers, everything. 8 countries is the soft power and influence. Pretty good value. Well, it definitely is. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't think that it's like we should stop everything. I think there's just certain elements where it could be more balanced, right? It needs more balance. I think there's things that they could do internally that would help improve the country without necessarily subsidizing more things. Like I said, like reducing things like the duty tax on imports for commercial goods, and potentially raising the personal allowance of like tax-free. I think those things go a long way. I don't think that increasing it by that much, from like 11,000 to 15,000, is really going to make that much of an impact on the taxes, right? Because that's not where a lot of, like, you're in the lowest marginal tax rate if you're just slightly above that. Like, if anything, you're going to have more money in your pocket to then pay into businesses and buy food, which will boost the economy, right? It's like the net good that comes from it will offset any of the short-term impacts, as far as I understand on that. So, should pass a law which restricts not-for-profits in Canada from sending money to people outside of Canada. We have enough people who need food, housing. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, yes, we do have a lot of people that need those things as well in Canada. Absolutely, we do. But it's like Taco Mate said, it's like there are benefits, there are things that need to be weighed to figure those things out, right? Like it's tough because it's like it's all relative. I do think that there's not being enough done to help people within the country, but I don't think the only solution is to stop helping other people at the same time, right? There's a weird balance. I'm not smart enough to know what that is, but yeah. But my whole thing with the taxes, there was a guy, like the whole universal basic income. I think if you don't do the personal tax amount, you do the universal basic income. I think it's fucking weird that EI is taxed. That's fucking crazy. But anyway, there was a guy that went onto a UK radio show that talked about this, and basically, I don't want to say solved the problem, because I think that's very narrow-minded and very, like, you know, looking at it through a very narrow lens. But they're basically like, if you give every single person like $2,000 a month or £2,000 a month every month, it would offset all of these other things that even if you gave that to the richest person into the UK, like, it would make such a little impact on that person, but to everyone else, it would make an insane amount of impact, right? He doesn't have the fleshlight. He's got I don't even know what that is. Aqua, you're living in year 3000, whatever the fuck that is. Is that like the next level Tamagotchi? Set it up like the dairy terrace. If our needs are met, then we splurge on the rest. Yeah, kind of. Also, personal tax should be lower if there's a goods tax. If people have more money in their pockets, they'll spend more, so you collect the same tax, whatever. Yeah, you're just offsetting the point in which the tax is being collected, right? And I think that's fine. I think the psychology of that. What was I doing with this? Explosives. The psychology of it is really... I'm actually going to get rid of this, to be honest. I think 2 will be okay. And we're going to put... Exploded. He exploded. Pardon me. Burping up a storm over here. Crikey. I'm going to pause while I read because I'm not paying attention to the game. There's a drought coming. The ultimate goal is we need more money in our pocket to spend. Snowball from there. It's just tight and tighter here for everyone. It's harder services. Exactly. So I think that one or two things is Canada has stagnated wages. The wages and the price of like real estate and everything is way too crazy. And something needs to be done. Absolutely. And I think things like raising the personal tax allowance would help. I think you could do that with the UBI. And I think it would make a huge difference because people would spend it back into the economy. That's the thing, is what everyone's like, oh, well, it's gonna, this is social services. No, motherfucker, it's gonna go right back into it. What is the marginal tax rate? What is it? Like, what is the lowest tax rate in Canada? Sorry, just gotta show the last thing that I opened on my phone. I haven't pressed anything. It's the Lin-Manuel Miranda meme of him looking at the phone. Just had to show that. That's what I do in my spare time. Lowest tax rate, Canada. $5.6%. $15%. Okay, 15%. Or is that the federal? Wait, what is it? Okay, it's 20%. 20%. Basically, it's 20%. Isn't the bracket low like 15%? Yeah, so it's 15% federal, 5% for BC. So if I was getting $2,000 a month on my wages, we live in a much different, right? My worry always, especially with Canada, though, is they'd raise the prices to match it. That's what I don't love about Canada, is it just like it's really bad. Flashlight at Tamagotchi, yes, that'd be a 10-year variant. Oh, okay. Could build more well-being items for beavers. I could, as we're talking about the topic of taking care of our citizens. However, we are playing this as real-world Canada, and therefore, no. No, I will. I think I started putting in like lanterns last time. I do want to add more of those in and maybe get these numbers up, these rookie numbers. Same in Texas this morning. I realized I survived a 40. Jesus, that's literally surviving. Plus side, didn't pay a lot of tax. So that's good. Yeah, I gotta do my taxes really soon. I actually have to wait. It's so stupid. So when you buy a place, when you take out your RSP, you don't have any the contributions you've done within the previous 90 days don't count towards your taxes off, and I have to wait till like the 21st. Otherwise I lose like $5,000 of RSP contribution, and it's cutting it so close to the wire, and I'm so stressed about it. But I'm like, 425%, damn, balling on a budget, Pyro. Any money you give medium wage earners or lower will go straight back into the... That's what I mean. It's like, at anyone in the higher end, they're not spending the money anyway. The money's not kept in Canada, right? But the people at the lower end, like, imagine the difference I could make. Like a UBI, even $1,000, $1,000. If you did that, at that point, you might as well just offsetting the lower tax bracket and doing that. Like, you do both, and you do like $1,000. Like, you know, we get like GST back and things like that under a certain amount. There's a lot of things like that, and it's like, it makes such a difference. Flip side, some good news on climate change planning, which Connie said he's keen on. It's going to take such a massive investment by all that will have a drive for wage jobs. Yes, let's fucking go, Connie. I will say, at the very least, it seems like he's actually like, no. You know, mini criticism of Kamala. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Was that it was more of the same. It was more of the same with Biden. Nothing changed. Nothing was going to be different, right? He's coming in and he's actually like taking on board what Canadians have been asking for like the last 10 years and actually doing something about it. Whether or not it's going to be a good thing in practice versus theory is a whole other thing. But I do think that, like, at least he's doing something that seems to be in that. And it felt a little like Trudeau was afraid to do anything, and therefore he did nothing. Whereas, and it's not that I agree with the right side by any stretch of imagination, but it's just like, that's kind of how it felt. It's like he was too afraid to do anything. He got more caught up in getting in arguments in Parliament than actually doing anything, right? Like, Connie's done, I'm not saying Trudeau's done nothing, but Connie's kind of done a lot more than Trudeau has in the last year in the time he's been in. Or at least is making it happen. Goes barreling down and down. Oh my God, that's where the logo is. What do you actual? What are you typing? The log rivers waltz pleases girls. Jesus, what are you copy pasting? Christ! Oh, you got timed out. Sorry. Hang on. Let me give you. How do I do? Christ, I don't do this a lot. I always call you Havoc, and I forget there's an N at the beginning of your name. No, you're good, Havoc. You're all good. It's sour supporters to non-supporters if you don't do what you say you will. Yeah, that's. I think that doesn't watch any Canada. Well, you know, I'm not all about that Heritage Moments Canada. You know, Pyro. I'm not sitting there watching my 30% Canadian TV as I should be. I think that's the thing. It's like actions speak louder than words, and following through on things is important. But I think there's a lot of times where they promise stuff and they don't really know how to do it. I think, you know, there's a whole thing of, you know, you under-promise, over-deliver, right? There's a line to that where you have to promise something, but some things you need to have in place that you will do in the first 30, 60, 90 days, right? And it just feels like every time people will, like, Trudeau would, like, say a lot of, again, even, like, with the Trump stuff and the tariff stuff, it's a lot of chirping and not a lot of action. I know he couldn't really do anything because he'd already resigned, but it was like, it's like that guy, it's that thing of like when someone is yelling and trying to get into a fight as their friend has their arm around them and is pulling them away out of the bar, right? It's like, cool, I'm so glad you're standing up for this now, but there's no recourse for this. 30, 60, 90 sounds like one hell of a graphics card. Oh, baby. They're going to the moon with that thing. I think this thing's relevant considering how it takes outside factors to clear that. All right. Trusting you would click in this link, Havoc. Okay, don't let me down. Medium? I'm kidding. Found an internet, funny parable, debt cycle, snowed upon it again. I'm gonna keep that open. I can't read the whole thing right now, but I'm gonna keep that open and read that in a bit. It's too bright on my face, though. It hurt my eyes. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that where it's like, it's expensive to be poor, right? Where it's like, someone was talking about how, I can't remember where I saw it, or it was about like a gardener, and the gardener needed to buy a new washing machine for their house, and it was like a $300 washing machine, but he didn't make enough money to be able to buy it outright, so he had to do it on credit. And after all the payments that would be made, the $300 washing machine would end up costing him $1,500, right? Because he'd have to take out so much debt and pay it off that's what the cost of the washing machine is. And it's true. It's like if you buy, you know, a cheap pair of shoes, you'll have to, like if you buy a $100 pair of shoes or a $50 pair of shoes, you probably have to replace them multiple times that you'll end up over time spending $500. Whereas if you bought a $300 pair of shoes that would last you a long time, you wouldn't do it. But the problem is everyone's like, well, why didn't you do that? It's like, well, I'm not in a position to have $300 lying around to be able to buy the $300 shoes. That's the difference. I think a big part of it, too, is not just giving people more money as well. I think there is an element of financial education, too. I'm not saying don't trust people to do what they want with the money. It's like that whole mentality of like giving someone outside of, you know, like giving a person who is homeless or struggling with addiction, giving them money. But instead, it's like not giving them money, but giving them like food. And like there's a weird thing about that of like you're kind of robbing their autonomy as a human being. And like you don't really get to dictate what people do with their money, right? Second smelter of connecting power. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I had it paused. Might as well undo that. I think we're getting close to having enough now. We're actually getting close, which is good. Oh, we're gonna have a drought as well. Okay. Let's start raising you. Let's start. I don't have to worry about you just yet, but I guess I don't really need to raise you just yet. We have like an extra day. But yeah, it's like, I think there's an element of financial education that needs to happen, right? Where it's like people don't know what to do with that money. Like if people get an extra $1,000 a month, most people that will benefit from that, it's going to food, it's going to bills, right? It's going to survival things. But some people might spend it on stupid stuff too, because suddenly they see it as a bonus rather than what it really is. Can't buy a toilet discount, need to buy now. Yeah. Some people don't have electric. Oh god, you can't have. Costco might be the best way for you to get the toilet paper, but you can't afford the $60 membership fee. You know, stuff like that. Article leaves out the convenient fact that the hotelier is not compensated for the tourist inspection. Yeah. Like the macroeconomy and politics talks while Cam rolls over his kingdom. Yeah, while I do that and I don't give them anything nice, SG's like, hey, maybe you should, like, I'm like, yeah, we should be helping our people. We should be giving them these things. And SG's like, you should put some wellness things in. I'm like, no, I don't have the resources. It's like, I have the money, I have the means, but I refuse to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm part of the problem. Don't give me any power, anyone, okay? Don't give me any power ever. No, we can do that. Yeah, let's get them to pee in the water supply. Let's do it. Back scratcher. Doesn't the game have worker satisfaction requirement? Yeah, we're at 7. I'm okay with a 7. It's fine. I'll put one over here as well. Why not? Showers. Double the shower, double the fun. Swimming pool, exercise plaza. Absolutely not. I want them fat and chunky. Not true, but, yeah, let's get them a pool. Why not? It's not that they don't spend most of the fucking day in the water. But yeah, let's give them a pool. What's the problem here? What's the issue? Oh, it's have to be deeper? How deep is this gotta be? How deep is your love? That is the real question. Ah, okay. Alright, you're getting a pool. You guys are getting a pool. That's fine. And, like, I'm not good at finance at all. I know I talk a lot about it, and it's mostly just, like, me trying to learn how to do stuff. But, like, I'm interested in it because I also think it's good to talk about it to, like, learn and be open on those things, too. Oh, I actually did that just in time. Okay, that swept in real quick. Yeah. Oh man, they didn't fuck around with this, did they? Oh wait, no, never mind. It looked like it was already built. I was like, Jesus, they ignored everything and built the fucking swimming pool. Why? It doesn't leave it out. It mentions at the end of the tourist leaves with money. Oh, it changed the story. So instead of inspecting the rooms, he says night hotel leaves us out on the rent for the night. Deeper. Yeah. Gotta put the pool in deeper. I think that'll work well. They'll be fine here. You see the good water flowing out near the bad water pump? You could build levees and make a secondary reservoir there. Over here, So I was going to use this area for the mangroves. That's what I was going to do over here. Where you have the dams down here. You could live by the water. You could build levees and make a secondary reservoir. Oh, like here, you mean? True. Yeah, I could do that. And then I guess if I connect this up, they can access it through water. Yeah. Not a bad way to do it. I guess, like, having it over here really does separate it, because then it's not pulling from other places, but it could always be fed into, right? Like, I could potentially replace one of these with, like, a floodgate, and that way, if the water supply gets low, you just kind of drop it, let a bit more in. Yeah, that could be a good idea. think I'm going to do what we're doing over here first, but that's definitely something to keep in mind. There is a lot of opportunity to make this into like a secondary reservoir, though, that's for sure. We don't need to be experts to feel the economy or housing aren't working right. It's okay to chat and figure it out. Yeah, and I always want to, like, I want to learn, and I want to understand it. Like, I've been feeling very disconnected with a lot of, like, the real world recently. And, you know, this stuff kind of helps me contextualize it and understand it a little bit and feel like I have a sense of understanding. And so it's a topic that I enjoy, and I think it's important, right? And it's also, I also like having my worldview challenged so that I can see it from a different perspective, because I'm in a very different, I mean, my standing has fluctuated a lot in the last few years, but I'm in a very different economic standing than I was 2 years ago. I certainly have opinions from when I was younger, when I had a lot less money and things like that. But it's also like, I want to learn and grow, and it's like, I also want to make sure that I'm aware of my impact on those things too, and what I can do to, like, make those situations better as well. Beaver power during the drought. Yeah, let's put that back to normal, shall we? Get 2 of these bad boys on. And then we just what? We're just waiting for metal blocks on that? Sweet. I don't think I even unlocked the 1.2k. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Alright, we need some science boys going. Sorry, is the town's debts paid off because of third-party temporary injection? Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing with, sorry, I will say I didn't read the whole thing, Havoc, so I haven't read it, so I'm kind of trying to pick up context of what you're putting in chat. That's the whole thing with the tariffs, right? Where it's like, there were so many people who were going to travel for conventions to Florida recently. Like, it was a Mark Cuban Blue Sky post. I'm not saying skeet, okay? I think that's just, that needs to die. But he posted on Blue Sky about, like, it was some kind of medical convention that was happening in Florida, and a bunch of people at a company just, like, pulled out and canceled because they're like, it's too expensive to go because of the tariffs. And it's like, that just lost that town that convention was going to be in millions of dollars of tourism. Fiction, it's a toy economy, it doesn't affect. But I think Pyro, again, haven't read it, but I think in some instances with a story like that, it's more about conveying the point rather than the micro aspects of it, right? It's just like trying to teach the lesson rather than be specific. That's what I would assume. I don't know. Like, I don't think, like, for example, I've written a 15, 20 page book about stuff that I know about investing, and a lot of it is very simplified, right? Where it's like, I'm basing this on this stock is at this price at this time, and the assumption is this price will never go up and never go down, because you just can't control that, right? So you just stick with, like, simple values of, like, $5, $100, things like that, and figure it out that way to get the point across, so that you hope that the person reading it will look into it more and add the nuance themselves. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I didn't read it. I skimmed it very, very quickly. But that would be my assumption. But yeah. Anecdotal world from this year's Game Dev conference going on right now is attendance is way down because it's in Europe. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of that happen. I think that Canada's economy is going to really bump up, especially in Toronto and places, for a lot of conventions, because one, way easier for a lot of people in the EU to get to, and two, they don't have to deal with tariffs and they don't want to spend any money in there. Like, what's the whole thing with the 200% tariff on, like, alcohol? And then I saw some posts on Yahoo Finance and they were like, oh, your favorite champagne might get more expensive. I'm like, who the fuck is buying champagne right now? What are you talking about? We're not even drinking sparkling wine, all right? We're drinking fucking President's Choice Diet Coke. That's what we're drinking at 1150. Christ, 1158. 1158 on a Monday. We don't need to unlock dynamites from manufacture it, correct? We can have explosives or storage. I don't know, but maybe. I mean, right now I need the metal blocks. Right now I need these to build. So we gotta get our numbers are going up, which is good. Is it 1158? No, it's not. It's 1153. It's a 3. I told you my eyes are fucked. Am I in a micro time zone? No, I set all my clocks 5-minute fast so that I'm not late to things. The irony me being late to every stream. But I set my clocks 5-minute fast. So when I see that, I just assume it's an 8. Okay? I can't even see it. I now know it's 11:54 because I kind of recognize the shape. I'm like a toddler. I recognize shape and colors and that's about it, okay? It's how I get through the world. It's how I know what machine I'm going to in the gym. It's there's a bingo for someone probably. As I recognize the logo and the shape of the chair. I don't actually know what it is. Because I can see about... Oh, I'm crashing out. I'm crashing out so hard. Everyone's getting hurt. Constructions lack materials. I just need more fucking blocks right now. Alright, let's... There we go. Grisha. Miss the PC lychee soda. They killed it. They what? I never had it. I heard good things though. You got issue with it. Oh, I mean that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Of like, you want more nuance to know where that money came from. It just existing. Yeah. Sometimes like stories like that can be a little too simplistic, right? Of like really getting the point across, but. Sometimes that can be enough for other people to really get their head around a concept, you know? Sometimes, like, that's what you need to do. You just need someone to get their head around a concept enough that you hope that they actually take the extra steps to learn more about it, right? That was my thing. It's like, I started reading, like, I knew a little bit about investing, but I made some terrible choices. But I started reading, there's a book called The Psychology of Money. And honestly, there's nothing really in that book that is inherently new or groundbreaking, but it helped me really understand a lot of things about money and about the again, the psychology, about how to think about it, how to make choices about it. Because it's really hard when you see stuff that's in the news, you're like, Tesla is up 1,000% in this, and you're like, oh, I wish I did this. And then you're just like, but if you just put money into like the S&P 500, if you just do this over a long period of time and not chase these trends and everything, and you're never going to time it, it's like you'll benefit from all these things too. And so it's just about shifting your mindset to learn those things. And it's very basic concept again. We got 4 days. Okay, I'm going to pause this too. Let's free up some people, shall we? I actually really like that book. And then at the end, they just do like basically just read the last page and it just gives you a bullet point. But I do think it's important to like read the book. I actually really like the book a lot. I'd rather read that than Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Like, fuck that guy. Absolutely fuck that guy. There's another one that I got where it's like oh God, what was it called? Let me see if I can find it. I'm not gonna bring it, but it's called the Intelligent Investor. Oh boy, does it have some archaic opinions in that. My God. Little bit of racism, little bit of a little bit of a should have bought maybe a newer edition. That's where I stopped reading those books. I was like, you know what? But like a lot of the concepts are like financially are very similar. Like the idea of how to approach money hasn't really changed in the last 100 years. In general, philosophy is you can't possibly beat machines and traders, pick stocks, everything's already priced in. If you ever hear about it, just take simple ETFs and stick with long term, you'll be ahead of the game. Yeah, I mean, what is it like? No, almost no hedge fund has ever outperformed the S&P 500. Yeah, and it's like it's okay to gamble on some things. Like I have stuff where I'm like, this is absolutely a fucking gamble and it's stupid. I have a friend who's in on it with me too, and I haven't got a lot of money, and he has a lot of money in it, and the thing pays a fucking 193% dividend. It's insane. It's insane. It's 1,000% gambling. That's worse than gambling. You have better odds in a casino, at least on fucking picking red or black. You have a 50-50 shot, right? Well, slightly less because of the green 00. But anyway, you have a 50-50 shot. You don't even have this. It's gonna go bad. It's gonna go bad. But if you're like making sure that your ducks are in a row before you get to that point, you know, like the whole thing of like the snowball method, and I guess that just kind of applies to a lot of stuff where it's like snowball method applies to both paying off debt, but it can also, there's like the avalanche method too. But it's like, it also applies to like how you structure your finances as well, where it's like you pay up, like the snowball method is like you pay off the lowest amount of debt so you get a win quick and then you work your way up. Avalanche is like you start with the biggest debt and you work your way down. There's also things where it's like you start with like your emergency fund and then you do your TFSA and then you do the RSP and you go that way, right? You go until lows are all full and then you go to the next one. And just like basic things like that, you know, it's better to invest it and hope that things go forward, right? Rather than not invest it at all and be like, oh, well, whatever. Because if the economy fucking collapses, we've got bigger problems. I'm swearing a lot. I apologize. We got bigger problems. If the economy collapses completely, we have bigger problems to worry about than money. Take the dividend, bet on the tables, and claim loss. I'm not even kidding. So my friend who's in it on this thing with me, his brother got his dividend payout, and he got the dividend payout on his way to Vegas for a bachelor party. And I was like, oh man. Why are the smelters not? They're working. They're going. They're going. They're just not going as well. Maybe let's pause this for a second. Let's pause that so that these get more power. There we go. Well, they're getting 50%. Let's pause the oil press. Damn, these things take up they used to take so much power. I'm just gonna pause everything until. Okay, then it probably made a better idea just to turn one of these off. Poof goes that dividend. Well, some nice lady has it now. Yep. But I mean, like, what? Like, I don't know. There's certain things like the dividend's fucking crazy. The dividend on it's crazy. But I'm like, the only way I bought this thing. And it's down right now, and I'm like, fuck, if I had more money, I would actually buy more of it. But I don't recommend anyone do it. But the only way that I buy it is I only bought into it from profit from other investments that are already I'm holding long term. It's not come out of like any paycheck or save it or anything like that. So if I lose the money, all I've done is lost profit from other things, right? It's not money that is out of the back of my pocket. And that's the difference of like, when you're investing, you have to basically just accept the fact that that money is gone. No matter what, that money is gone. You have to operate on that assumption. I'm going to turn one of these back on. You have to operate on that assumption because otherwise you will go mad. Because when you see the stock market drop 30% like it has now, and it's like down to like 2022 like prices, you are going to freak the fuck out. So they find a risk money you don't care about. Yeah, exactly. You're going to freak the fuck out. But it's like, okay, yeah, it's gone down. Buy more. I hate to be like, buy the dip. But it's like, if you believe in something over a long period of time, you're basically buying it on sale and getting more value from that. And it will grow and go up over time, right? And you're investing in the whole market collectively for that. So, Tesla's goodbye. Someone on Reddit was doing puts against Tesla and made a shitload of money because it went down like 50%. Storage problems as well. Planks, bad water, explosives, metal blocks, everything. Yeah, I haven't really spent a lot of time on the storage stuff. I'm still not really used to it. Well, this is the thing. So it's like a lot of the storage things that I need right now require metal because I want to build the bigger ones of these so that will hold the water. I want to build something that holds the bad water over here. I guess I could build one of those now. Can I fit it? Oh, yeah. All right, cool. There we go. So we'll build one of these. That's going to hold the bad water. Then we're kind of getting low. I'm surprised. We're getting like, we're not low, but we need scrap, planks. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. This one's harder, kind of, because you can't build like the underground log storage or anything. But I do need something for planks. We're not doing well on food. I gotta admit, we're not doing well on food. I think that berries are really kind of tying us over in so many ways right now. I want to get the food up to where the... Oh, there's an ad that's gonna run. Sorry, everyone. I'll pause when the ad's running. Don't worry. I want to get the food up to where I've got... Like, because when I'm playing on the other faction, I had like 2,000 potatoes, right? We're low on soybeans, so maybe I got to start thinking about whatever's next, like maybe like the eggplant or something. I don't know. But yeah, I just always want to learn more. I want to learn more about how money works, and because I think money works so differently than what I think it should. Mango fruits? Yeah, I was going to plant those as well, right? I'll plant some of those over here. Money works so differently than how I think it should. And that's the thing that's... Because I live in the real world, I don't live in the finance world. And so that's hard to learn. It's hard to learn. Will you even reach? Okay, so you won't reach because you are scum of the earth. That's fine. Let's do some... mangroves. There we go. We'll start with that. Money works different at level. Yeah, it really does. Because like, even just how you would spend money changes so much, right? Because like suddenly time becomes such a more important factor to the cost of things, of like the opportunity cost, things like that, right? Of like, you know, I've been talking about it in terms of like, while I'm moving, what I might do is just go to one of these places and buy catering and just have catering in the fridge for like a week and eat that. And it's like, yeah, it will cost way more money for me to do that than it would for me to just like, then add positive. Yeah, there we go. It will cost me way more money to do that, but I won't have to cook a meal every night. And yes, I can take time to like meal prep on a Sunday, but I need to take the time on the Sunday to pack and things like that, right? So, and add pops. Yeah, there you go. Give me that money. Give me that fucking money. Let's go. Just be thankful it's not a 3-minute one. No, I didn't run that. I only run the 3-minute ones when I take a break because I need to either browse Blue Sky or I'm making a tea or something. Hi, Kin. How's it going? Welcome on in. But I really wish Twitch would allow me to see ads run stream, even block specific advertisers and appearing on the stream if I should. Yeah. Yeah, you don't really have a say over it, right? Like I don't love that. I don't love that. Yeah. Also the fact that you can't completely turn them off and just be okay with not taking any, right? Like they're gonna run ads no matter what you do. It's very, very, very stupid. So anyway, there's a lot of things to do with the with like opportunity costs, right? Or buying back your time. Again, with the whole washing machine thing, it's like if you don't have $300 to buy a brand new washing machine, you have to buy it on credit, then it's going to cost you 5 times as much. But if you can, then you save money, right? So it's like if I can spend the time packing and getting all my stuff ready and throwing stuff away and things like that, and I just have to take a burrito out the freezer and heat it up or whatever, and I'm good to go, that to me is potentially worth it. Because it's cheaper than buying individual meals every single time, right? It's cheaper than doing that, but it's not as cheap as meal prepping and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm trying to find a good balance. I think I found a good balance with like actually meal prepping where I don't have to like pay attention to a lot of stuff. And I do like having fresh food. But like I said, like having the steaks ready to go today and then just air frying to reheat it was so good. It's great. So many water wheels. Weird how many rocks at the water spring. With these guys? Oh, because there's just no... I haven't... So, it's not deep enough here, where I built everything, to have the big water wheel. And it also... Oh, what am I trying to say? And also, I didn't have explosives yet to, like, make it deeper to fit it in. Like... Hindsight 2020. Should have built it over here, right? Where it is deeper. But I ended up building here. It is what it is. So I have all of these in place just for now. But eventually we'll do that. And then, yeah, I added this because we kept running out of power for everything when the drought was happening. So, or I guess when the bad tide happens, because it all runs out this way right now, the way I have set up. My God, it's still... Oh my God, you're only here? You're only here. Are you kidding me? We're almost at the end of day 1 and you're only here. Why does it take so much longer for it to get back than it does to go away? You know? Dumb. Okay, so... Oh, okay. So it can make explosives. You just can't put them down. Interesting. Get out of here. Get out of here, okay? What do you think this is? Unbelievable. So I'm probably going to need something for the explosive store. We're going to need 2 things. And I don't know what you hold. You hold explosives. Okay. Gears, we ain't getting to that. So let's just put the explosives in here. Why not? Let's put them at the top. And hopefully they don't go off. And then you... I'm assuming I need one of these. For the metal. Yeah. Okay. So we can put the metal... I did say this is going to be my storage area anyway, so this is fine. Let's put you... I'm going to set you back 1 so I have a little bit of room to, like... What do you mean entrance blocked? By what? God damn, dude. Alright. We'll do that. There we go. Alright. Beautiful. Nice. There we go. Alright, that's going to be for our metal and whatnot. Concentrating the river flow, so having less water wheels, but each of them produce more. That's what I was trying to do here. That's what I was actually trying to do. I started putting in levees so that it's better. It did actually make a difference. It did actually make a difference. To make it a little narrower. But, yeah. There's a lot of choices I could have done that's better. What is your problem? What is your deal, guy? Deep... Well, now you fucking tell me. Cam is a professional engineer. His haphazard design, strictly learning. So, yeah, I'm just trying to teach everyone else what not to do. That's what's happening here. It's not that I'm bad at the game and learning and a terrible human being. It's that I just want chat to have a good time and be silly little goofballs, okay? Just be hashtag little gay, you know? Hashtag little gay. You could have reduced... That's what I was doing. That's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I was doing. But I got preoccupied with other things. Because what I was thinking I could do is I'd just like levy this. So I have that one and then this one, right? Because I guess that's what I did in the last game. Width, not length. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, I understand. Like, you make it too wide instead of this wide. Yeah. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Eventually, we swap with all the other stuff. And then what I might do... Could you blow a hole in the river? Spiral... I'm sure that's what... So my overarching plan is I want to break through this, but I also want to add an aqueduct for bad water. So that way the bad water... It'll all come through here, and then the bad water will go out this way, and then it will join here. So that way the bad water doesn't even get down here. And doing it with sluices. But that's why I need the... That's why I need these doodads going, you know? So I will say at least this one, it doesn't need the centrifuge to, like, treat the bad water to make the explosives. No, fuck, it does. It does, because it's not... When you need to put the explosives down. Right? Oh, it's when you go deeper. Ah, fuck, okay. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. So one layer down, fine. 2 layers down, not fine. Oh baby, we need the centrifuge thing. The central fusion hymen. What the fuck is it? No. You. Oh, we do have enough. Okay. Water. Oh, you're right. You're right. I wasn't paying attention. My bad. Sorry. Food, we're okay. We have 1.8k berries. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay on food for now. Not too worried about that. But we should probably get a centrifuge going. Let's... Okay. I'm gonna pause... Now that this is built, I'm gonna pause one of these so I can actually, like, bring this back. Canola oil. I'm gonna leave you paused, but I'm gonna unpause these doodads. Yeah. So we keep one of these going. One of these going. Yeah, we have a lot of canola oil right now. So we're good. We're good. We're good. Yeah, I need to be... There's a number of rocks providing water at the water spring. It needs to be as large. There's a number of rocks providing water at the water spring. Otherwise, after a drought, the water will go out of central dug of the river. Gravity batteries. Yeah, gravity batteries is not a bad idea. Maybe what we do is build that over here. Actually, this cliff, that would actually go crazy for that. That would actually be really good. Like, if I built it out this way and went up here, that would actually not be terrible. I'd build it higher. Like, I wouldn't just stop here. I'd actually just, like, do my little tower doodad and build it as high as I can so it's here and then it comes down. Yeah. Weren't you gonna build an aqueduct further upstream near the source? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's what I'm saying here is I'm gonna break this through like so, and then with a sluice, I'm basically gonna like break it through to here, and then using a sluice, it's gonna basically filter out. That was kind of the plan. So basically, I'm gonna break through. I can use explosives like dig down on here. And then I basically want that to be the same level as the bottom. And then that way, when there's a bad tide, it will sweep away. I just don't want to flood everything. Because if I put the dam in too high... Sluice is a good guy. I'm very wispy right now. My mouth is very dry. I'm speaking way too much about shitting on the VFX industry. Okay, so it didn't need to be that much deeper. It just needed fucking water flow. Alright, that's fine. How you doing? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe... How much are we producing right now? Don't really have the headroom, to be honest. Don't have the headroom. Everyone's liking that first one. Do you ever see that Mythbusters thing about bathrooms, like public bathrooms? And people always assume that the first stall is the dirtiest because they assume that's the first one everyone goes to. But in fact, it turns out that it's actually the cleanest one usually because everyone assumes that it's used the most and therefore they don't use it. So it's actually used the least. It was kind of a cool idea and experiment that they did. Gross. I don't want to be swabbing toilets for bacteria, but like Sluice lit. Okay, fucking suits guy over here. LA suits watching ass. Oh wait, what are you doing? Why are you swimming? There's building to be done. Crikey. We actually need way more wood. We're actually need way more wood. Okay, how am I gonna build up? Like, how do we do this? Because we're just gonna keep running into the same problem over and over. Yeah, I know. Oh, I have an idea. Wait, is that high enough? No. It needs to be a 3. Is it? Oh my god, fuck off. Is it 3? Yeah, so we do this. We do a 2. And we do, oh my god. UI, get out the way. There we go. All right. Got him. Yes. Okay. So you are gonna hold logs. Nice. That's why I poop in the sink like a civilized. You know what? You're not wrong. I'm struggling to watch Suits LA. How did you know? You seem like the type. The way that you type words makes you seem like a Suits apologist, and I will not stand for it. Yeah, you just plunge it down, right? You just use your toothbrush and you mix it around and it gets it down. Yeah, this is the thing. I had this as gear storage and then it started being like, nah. And then I was like, all right, well, shit. I don't know. Are we even making enough to have gears? You did it. You did it. You gotta make sure to run the hot water first so you can get the booty cheeks nice and steamy. No, cold. I want it cold. I don't want my pores open when that's happening, okay? I want it tight. It's like squeezing toothpaste through the eye of a needle. That's what I want. You have to apologize to Donna for that comment. No. He's a Suits apologist, the LA one. Okay. Man, the amount of like people I've met who have based their personality on like being a Donna-esque. It's kind of funny. It started in Mad Men, right, with Christina Hendricks' character, and then it's like transpired into like Donna from Suits. And then what do we fucking, what do the men get? Fucking Mike? What is this? What is bullshit? Okay, I guess we get Harvey, but still. I think, you know what? I take it back. We have a lot of stuff in media. we have a little too much, quite frankly. Okay, men are not hard done by when it comes to modern TV or any TV of any era, for that matter. Let's be real. Let's call a spade, shall we? I'd rather be Limitless guy. True. If only NZXT. You want a new PC case? Is that what you're after right now? Or are you after a Kraken cooler? You're gonna be huffing on the thermal paste of a Kraken cooler? When will white men get rid? Right, that's what I'm saying, Taco mate. When is it our time? We've been hard done for too long. Eat PC cases to get unlimited memory. That's why you got so many memory leaks, man. That's what's happening. Okay, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Now we're back on the fermented soy boy train. We're good. We're maxed out on canola oil. That's why I'm not worried about turning the press back on yet. Canola things were fine. I guess I'm not really storing soybeans. And they go straight in. They get fermented. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think we're producing enough to like have storage for that yet. So that's okay. Our berry storage is crazy though. No, it's reason your liver failed. NZT changed the. It's those forever chemicals in the microplastics. You know, that's what it is. They're using larger beads. Ribbed for your pleasure, Pyro. Okay, this is producing an okay amount. Like 37. Okay, no, you can get fucked. You're producing 40. This is not good. Definitely need to make this narrower, as Kit was saying. I mean, I was doing that in the other one. I've just got, I don't know, I got lazy. I got lazy in my old age. Definitely need to make this narrower. I would have been better, to be honest, with a 2x2 rather than a 5 wide, right? Like, I'd be better putting these behind or in front and doing it that way than anything else. But then you gotta, like, set it up a different way. We have 30 explosives, though. We could go bombing. We could go bombing right now. Bombing down the street in my Vauxhall Corsa. Let's go. What are we doing, though? We're gonna blast. We're gonna blast some holes. We're gonna blast our beaver goo in some holes. I guess let's make a, how are they gonna get down here? That's the $1 million. Well, it's not $1 million, okay? What's the conversion rate? That's a $640,000 question, okay? We paying tax on this because we're talking about US dollars. That's the craziest thing, is like the US paying, like, you guys talk about tax a lot, but like you get triple taxed on everything. Like, you get taxed on the lottery, you get taxed on buying a ticket, and then you get taxed on winning. Are you fucking kidding me? That's crazy. All right, if I limit this, will it let me bomb it up below its holes? There we go. Doesn't matter, it's at 1, that's fine. That actually might not be a bad thing because it'll hold water longer. We do need a central Fugelheimer. I don't know if we're producing enough power, I'll be honest. Pumped water, bad water, one side. Yeah, I still don't understand how that works. Okay, we do have enough. We have enough metal as well. Okay. Dude, it requires 200? The frick? Okay, I gotta be careful here, because I don't want to put it... I'm gonna put it here. I gotta make sure I leave a little bit of a gap, you know? Doing the ziggy zags. Don't like it. But we need something. We needed something, all right? Let's do medium tank. Next to it, beautiful. You're gonna hold the Gamagoo. Alright. God, I'm such an obnoxious person. I fucking hate it. I don't know how any of you listen to me. Straight for the game play. This is doing alright though. And then eventually we'll get the 4,000. Ooh. Getting science points is gonna be brutal. It's gonna take forever, man. We're not doing bad on the beeves though. We're at like 49, 49.50. Pretty good, pretty good. Everyone's got a job to do. And yeah, we should maybe start making channels of this stuff. I think when I get the big wheel... Actually, can I actually do this now? Nope, I don't have enough. I don't have star power. Don't have it. I haven't got the gift. Alright. Why so many beavers injured, dude? Yeah, definitely gonna need gear storage. Gears... Plank storage we have, right? Or am I insane? No, I think I'm insane. I don't think I put in plank storage anywhere. Fuck. Maybe we'll do that over here. Planks and gears. Let's do some planks and gears, okay? We'll do planks on the bottom because I don't have to build as many staircases. Or I guess, no. And then I'll just do... I think I'll just do a small... How is it? Oh, because of the frickin' tree. Okay. That's fine. Because we're about to get rid of it. This angle, it gives me vertigo. Christ. It's like top angle, but like slightly back. Just like... Nope, don't like that. Don't like that. Okay, so you're gonna hold planks. You're gonna hold gears. Is it the most efficient way to do this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But we seem to be building mostly out here because there's not really much to do out this way. And if we have to go that way, it's fine. But yeah. And then we have a bunch of these, and then we have storage, and then yeah. Okay, that's fine. Like, what is this at? 200? I think that's a reasonable amount for the gears. There will be a time when we need to upgrade that. But for now, 200 is okay. 200 is okay. Alright. I'm hitting a wall, though, and it is 12:30. So I think I'm going to save Meat Spin for now and call it a stream. Because I'm getting tired, and as much as I've been talking nonsense this whole time, I'm talking even more nonsense. But I digress. Thank you for hanging out, everyone, though. Toxic, I think you know what we're about to do. I think you know where we're going. I think you know what we're about to do. Okay. 3 guesses. 3 guesses on what accent the person we're about to raid is going to have. No, she finished a while ago. Good night, Taco. Thanks for hanging out, dude. I really appreciate you being here. It's always good to see you. Thank you for listening to me talk about macroeconomics. Ooh, we don't say that stuff. No. No. The correct answer was Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan, Pyro. Okay, anyway. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'll be back hopefully on Wednesday. I don't know. I do have a work delivery on Wednesday for a festival. So we'll see. It might be okay, it might not be, but I'll let you know in the Discord and keep you posted. Thank you again, everyone. I really appreciate you being here. Making good progress on this, honestly. This one's actually come along nicely. I really like this Helix map. So I'm gonna keep going with it. Viewership be damned. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Take care. I love you. Goodbye.